Money cannot buy you everything, but make sure you earn a lot before you speak such nonsense. Was said by probably one of the richest men to ever live on this planet, Mr. Warren Buffett.
Love this quote. मैंने actually first time जब ये quote सुना शाहरुख खान से सुना, you are only qualified to be a philosopher if you are rich.
Because my main struggle with the money started when मेरे प्रोटीन पाउडर्स खत्म हो जाते थे और घर वाले मना कर देते थे कि सप्लीमेंट्स के पैसे हम नहीं देंगे. तो वहाँ से मेन स्ट्रगल शुरू हुई.
एक बार अपनी गर्लफ्रेंड मेरी आकांक्षा से एक बार लड़ाई होती है, मैं कुछ पैसों के दम पे कुछ चौड़ा हो रहा था. She asked me just one question, how much money have you earned? उस टाइम में चुप. एंड उन्हीं दिनों में एक और चीज़ हुई कि डैड के साथ कोई किसी बात पे लड़ाई होगी एंड डैड रिप्लाइड, हज़ारों के तो तेरे सप्लीमेंट्स आ जाते हैं, प्रोटीन के डब्बे आ जाते हैं तेरे. तब मेरी थोड़ी सी ईगो हर्ट हो गई एंड दैट्स व्हेन आई रियलाइज्ड कि यार मनी इज इम्पॉर्टेंट.
Money cannot buy you everything, but make sure you earn a lot before you speak such nonsense. Was said by probably one of the richest men to ever live on this planet, Mr. Warren Buffett. तो इसी नोट के साथ आपको पता लग गया होगा कि आज हम किस टॉपिक पे बात करने वाले हैं, which is going to be money, 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 money. And joining me is my co-host and one of the finest fitness entrepreneurs of India, Mr. Yash Vardhan Swami.
Thank you for introducing me and welcome to another episode of Being Men. अभिनव, आज आपने ये नहीं बताया एपिसोड नंबर कौन सा है?
क्योंकि पिछले वाला हमारा गायब हो गया था, तो आई थिंक दिस इज गोइंग टू बी एपिसोड नंबर 7 if I'm not wrong.
So okay, whatever it is, and great start because love this quote. मैंने actually first time जब ये quote सुना शाहरुख खान से सुना, you are only qualified to be a philosopher
right
if you are rich.
Yeah, they say that wisdom always comes after making money.
And it's very interesting because most philosophers, especially जब हम stoicism की बात करते हैं,
Right.
most philosophers were actually very rich. ये for guys, Marcus Aurelius is famous.
Right.
He was the king.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
If you are already at a level and now you say stuff like this, that has more weightage also.
Definitely.
So that is what. So आज करेंगे money के बारे में बात. We'll be covering a lot of stuff, talking about our personal stories. Then we'll be moving to our money principles. And let's get to the point. So Abhinav, let's start with you. Okay, so I need to know some money history. Where did we start from?
Right.
And yeah.
Okay. So a lot of boys can relate to it. Because my main struggle with the money started when मेरे प्रोटीन पाउडर्स खत्म हो जाते थे और घर वाले मना कर देते थे कि सप्लीमेंट्स के पैसे हम नहीं देंगे.
Yes.
तो वहाँ से मेन स्ट्रगल शुरू हुई.
What was your age?
It was about 16-17 was when I really got into fitness or bodybuilding. Yes. And then I realized कि हाँ सप्लीमेंट्स भी लेने पड़ेंगे अब तो, अगर बॉडी को बड़ा करना है.
Yes.
So my main struggle or my main awareness as to कि हाँ I need to start making money or I need to start finding out ways where I can make more money. It started during those years when I realized कि I need to start buying my own supplements, my own food, my own stuff. And that was the time when I was trying to figure out ways as to how can I start doing it. So I started taking part in local arm wrestling competitions. I started training guys in my gym. I started giving free diet plans to my friends, to my friends' friends. So 500 रुपए का डाइट प्लान बना देते थे कि चलो कोई अपना चिकन आ जाएगा शाम का, या अपना प्रोटीन पाउडर इकट्ठे करके प्रोटीन पाउडर ले लेंगे. And that was the time when I really learned the value of saving money. Because I remember there was a phase जहाँ पे मैंने 2 साल I didn't buy even a single piece of cloth for myself. I was whatever pocket money I was getting or whatever I was able to earn through my earnings of these small tasks that I was completing. So I was saving all of that, and then after 2 years I bought supplements. I was the happiest guy. Yes, I achieved something due to that. And then later on it started with me leaving my hometown, because after engineering I got placed in Infosys, and then I decided that I want to go to modeling. But
Yes.
My parents were very supportive in terms of emotional support and mental support, but I always had a very fixed they always had a fixed mindset कि देख बेटा हम तेरे साथ हैं, but इतनी लिमिट तक होंगे और इतने टाइम तक हम तुझे टाइम दे रहे हैं. If you can figure your shit out, it's good. So for almost 7-8 months, I remember when I left home and I was in Delhi. At that point of time, I was living in a rental place. So that was one of the toughest times when I really realized the importance of earning money. So it was almost a phase जहाँ पे I was broke, I was lending and I was borrowing money. Sorry, not lending. I was borrowing money. I was not in a state to lend anyone. I was borrowing.
Big heart.
I was borrowing from my friends. कि चलो 5,000 किससे पकड़ ली 10,000. So about it was when I was about age of 22 and I think I was in the debt of almost 2.5 to 3 lakhs within those 7 to 8 months. So that was a really struggling phase for me, and that was a phase where I was realizing कि भाई देख ऐसा है जितनी मर्जी बुक्स पढ़ ले, जितनी मर्जी फिलोसफी, एंड उस टाइम हमें सीक्रेट एक बुक होती थी मैनिफेस्टेशन एंड ये मैंने कहा ठीक है ये बाद में देखेंगे, पहले रोकड़े का या पैसे का थोड़ा बंदोबस्त करना शुरू करें. तो दैट वाज माय स्टार्ट ऑफ द जर्नी व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड रियलाइजिंग दैट मनी इज इंपॉर्टेंट.
So at what age did you make your first buck? Was it 17 या 22 के आसपास?
See, as I said, when I was doing those local arm wrestling or I was giving the diet plans, it was about 17, 18, 19. Around that time, I was earning about like 3,000, 2,000 bucks a month, and it was enough to just take care of my expenses. वही जो चिकन आना है या हल्का फुल्का प्रोटीन पाउडर ले लिया या कुछ अमीनोज ले लिए, उस टाइम के अराउंड के वो थोड़े बहुत एक्सपेंसेस होते. बट माई मेजर अर्निंग स्टार्टेड अराउंड जुलाई अगस्त 2000 and when I was 22, 2016, 17, 18, no 2000, 2000, no 2012,
Maths
13, 2013, yes 2013, August 2013 was when I got an assignment from one of the leading e-commerce websites, so I had to go to Bangalore, and that was actually the first time I ever sat in a flight.
Yes.
So I was almost about it in tears because उससे 6-7 महीने पहले when I was about to leave home, I was planning to go to Kerala with my dad, and I was like, Dad, let's go in a flight. And my dad was like, तूने अपनी औकात देखी यार फ्लाइट में जाने की, चुपचाप ट्रेन में जाएंगे. मैं कहा डैड 4-star होटल तो करवा लो. डैड एंड माय डैड इज़ वेरी लाइक ही इज़ वेरी मिनिमलिस्टिक मैन एंड आई लव दैट अबाउट हिम एंड आई अंडरस्टैंड द वैल्यू ऑफ बीइंग लाइक दैट नाउ. बट उस टाइम आई वाज लाइक कि वो एग्रेशन, वो रिवेंज मुझे चाहिए नहीं. मैं पापा को बोला आई एम गोइंग टू सिट इन अ फ्लाइट माई सेल्फ एंड मैं 5-star होटल में रहूँगा. So around that time, August 2013, I got this contract from one of the leading e-commerce. I went to Bangalore, got into a flight, 5-star, and that was like my major earning that started happening.
Yes, आपने एक और भी चीज़ मेंशन करी कि you were under loan of around 2.5 lakh rupees. तो वो लोन आपके increased expenses की वजह से, expenses basically luxurious expenses की वजह से था या just sustaining in a new city?
नहीं भाई उस टाइम तो luxuries का नहीं सोच सकते थे because I had just moved to a new city. So I'm moving from Patiala to Delhi and I was going away from home for the first time. So it was a huge shift. On top of that, I was in a kind of profession which was completely different to my personality, who I really am, because modeling or that glamour world is a completely it has a lot of superficial aspects of being in that particular industry, but me being who I am, the kind of person that I was, for me it was tough around that time. So it was more of paying my rents, my bills, metro के कार्ड्स के पैसे, खाना पीना, चिकन, अपनी फिटनेस के ऊपर सप्लीमेंट्स. दिस वाज द बेसिक स्टफ दैट डेट इंक्लूडेड.
राइट. सो बेसिकली बेसिक सस्टेनेंस.
यस.
मैं इसलिए पूछ रहा था बिकॉज बहुत लोगों का ये होता है कि नई सिटी पे गए, सर्कल बना लिया, अल्कोहल पे खर्चे हो रहे हैं. दैट्स व्हाई आई वाज आस्किंग. ओके, सो टॉकिंग अबाउट माय स्टोरी इज अ लिटिल डिफरेंट, क्वाइट द ऑपोजिट, बट एक बड़ी कॉमन चीज़ है विच आई जस्ट रियलाइज्ड. सो इन माई केस डैड ऑलवेज हैड अ बिजनेस. ना मेरे को कभी कोई पढ़ाई वगैरह का कुछ वो था. व्हेन आई टर्न्ड 18, घर वालों ने एक बात बोली कि आई वाज 44 kgs heavier, कि पतला हो जा, तेरे को पढ़ाई भी करने की जरूरत नहीं. दोज वर डैड्स वर्ड्स. सो 12th में आई स्टार्टेड लूजिंग फैट एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ. लॉस्ट फैट 44 kgs. दैट्स गुड. 2017 तक मैं उसी बात पे खुश हो रहा था. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट मैंने न्यूट्रिशन वगैरह पढ़ना स्टार्ट कर दिया था जस्ट फॉर माई सेल्फ. 2017 में क्या होता है कि एक बार अपनी गर्लफ्रेंड मेरी आकांक्षा से एक बार लड़ाई होती है. मैं कुछ पैसों के दम पे कुछ चौड़ा हो रहा था. शी आस्क्ड मी जस्ट वन क्वेश्चन, हाउ मच मनी हैव यू अर्न्ड. उस टाइम में चुप. एंड उन्हीं दिनों में एक और चीज़ हुई कि डैड के साथ कोई किसी बात पे लड़ाई होगी एंड डैड रिप्लाइड, हज़ारों के तो तेरे सप्लीमेंट्स आ जाते हैं, प्रोटीन के डब्बे आ जाते हैं तेरे. तब मेरी थोड़ी सी ईगो हर्ट हो गई. एंड दैट्स व्हेन आई रियलाइज्ड कि यार मनी इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट. बिकॉज उससे पहले लग रहा था यार डैड का बिजनेस है, प्रॉपर्टीज़ हैं, चलो जी काम चल जाएगा, सॉर्टेड सीन है. फॉर मी मेकिंग मनी वॉज नॉट अबाउट कुछ खर्चे निकल जाएंगे या कुछ हो जाएगा. इट वॉज मोर अबाउट प्रूविंग माई सेल्फ टू माई सेल्फ एंड एवरी वन अराउंड मी एंड माई सेल्फ इमेज एंड माई ओन सेल्फ वर्थ. बिकॉज अगर मैं अभी डैड के बिजनेस में होता विच इज़ लाइक वेरी सॉर्टेड, रियल एस्टेट है तो काफ़ी सॉर्टेड है, जाके बैठना एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ. I don't think the way I have built my self-image and self-worth in front of my own eyes also wouldn't be there. Neither in front of my girlfriend also. Because abhi recently हमने एक podcast में I asked her a question that would you respect me as much if I was not doing anything of my own? Her reply was no. Within a second she said no. Right? So for me it was a little different. But again it started with the supplements.
We all can relate to that.
So ठीक है, तो for me that was my turning point. Before that I had coached some people, some friends, एक दो को professionally भी किया था coach, but that's like this is 2016 August, 2017 January I started with trained by IBS and when I started working. एंड अगेन ऐसा नहीं था कि मैं ईगो पे 6 महीने ले गया और काम स्टार्ट कर दिया. बट फर्स्ट टाइम मेरे को रियलाइजेशन ये आई कि यार ओके दिस इज़ ऑल्सो इंपॉर्टेंट. ये नहीं है कि ऐश ही करी जाओ इज़न्ट द राइट वे टू डू. ऑल्सो मेरे को एक और चीज़ हो गई थी कि 2012 में मैंने लॉस्ट फैट, मेरे को तो लगने लग गया था कि मैंने क्या ही कर दिया. डैड ने मुझे उस दिन फाइट के दौरान ये भी कहा कि जो भी तू कर रहा है खुद के लिए कर रहा है, हमारा कोई इसमें डायरेक्ट बेनिफिट नहीं हो रहा है.
Right.
तो दैट्स व्हेन आई रियलाइज कि ये जो मैं हवा में उड़ रहा हूँ खुद की ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन की वजह से, वो करना बंद कर देना चाहिए एंड लेट्स हेल्प समवन एल्स ऑल्सो. एंड दैट्स वेयर इट स्टार्टेड. ओके, सो स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट इज क्लियर. अब ना व्हाट वाज योर बिगेस्ट स्ट्रगल और टर्निंग पॉइंट? स्टार्टिंग वाली स्टेजेस में आया कि 1-2 साल बाद रियलाइज हुआ कि यार ये तो कुछ और ही है?
In terms of money की
की बेसिकली आपकी बिगेस्ट स्ट्रगल या टर्निंग पॉइंट जब आपको रियलाइज हुआ? फॉर मी इट वाज द स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट ओनली फॉर द मोस्ट पार्ट.
या फॉर मी इट वाज द स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट विच आई थिंक वो जो आई टोल्ड यू लाइक वो जो 7-8 महीने थे, what I really learned in that, because the kind of person that I am, the kind of awareness levels I've created for myself and the kind of understanding of this world that we live in, I've been able to gather for myself. Comparing myself to that version, that boy had zero awareness as to how to actually sustain himself in this world. And on top of that, as I said, the kind of profession that I was in, it was very confusing to make meaning of what I'm doing, where I am currently. So those 7-8 months, I feel that has built a very strong base for a person like me. And अगर वो 7-8 महीने ना होते, I don't think I would have had the confidence to go out in life and try new things, take as many risks as I can take today. So those 7-8 months were great, like were the most testing times for me. But there was another struggling point after that I figured out was when you start becoming comfortable. Because when the money starts coming in easily, right? Once वो जो पहला स्ट्रगलिंग एक फेज होता है, उसके बाद एक ऑटोमेट हो जाता है आपका प्रोसेस. आपको पता है कि ये प्रोजेक्ट्स आने ही आने हैं, इतना आपका पर्टिकुलर सम आएगा, इतने खर्चों के बाद आपकी इतनी पैसों के इतने एक्सपेंसेस के बाद लग्जरीज भी आ जाएंगी, सेविंग्स भी आ जाएंगी, इन्वेस्टमेंट्स भी आ जाएंगी. फिर वो हवा में उड़ने वाली एक थोड़ी सी.
ये कौन से ईयर की बात है हवा में उड़ना? मतलब कितने ईयर्स बाद?
2000 आई थिंक 2013 के एंड तक. So within those, like August में my work started picking up, and within 4-5 months I was able to clear all my debt and take care of my main expenses and still have a lot for myself to afford some decent luxuries during that. For me at that time the luxuries were like watch ले लिया, या गाड़ी के alloy change करा लिए, या पार्टी ज़्यादा कर ली, या ये कर लिया. And that time but there was one thing that was always there कि वो जो 7-8 महीने थे ना, they always say that your body, like आपका mind, आपका जो dimension है फाइनेंशियली वो चेंज हो जाता है, लेकिन आपकी बॉडी की ना एक मेमोरी रह जाती है. तो 7-8 months वर वेरी ट्रॉमेटिक बिकॉज आई कुड नॉट स्लीप एट ऑल इन ड्यूरिंग दोज फेजेस बिकॉज माई dad had said कि अच्छा तेरे को ये 5-7 हज़ार रुपये ही मिलेंगे, and my expenses were almost like 35-40,000 minimum to minimum after rent and taking care of my food and all. So I was just trying to figure out as to how can I make the next day better. And it was a very struggling phase because on some days I was not even able to afford like chicken breast for myself, and I was finding myself standing at a local Karyana store, trying to find out the cheapest dahi out there. एंड उस टाइम मुझे रियलाइज़ हुआ कि हाँ, जो वो पेरेंट्स बोलते थे ना कि हाँ बेटा अभी तू घर पे है तो तुझे सब कुछ सही लग रहा है, घर से बाहर निकलेगा तब तुझे वैल्यू समझ में आएगी. तो वो फेज़ वो ना बॉडी की एक मेमोरी रह जाती है. सो इवन दो आई वॉज कम्फर्टेबल विद दी लग्जरीज और विद दी अर्निंग्स दैट आई वॉज हैपनिंग, बट वो बॉडी की ना मेमोरी नहीं गई थी वो स्ट्रेस को लेने की. सो even things were going fine, but I was still, you know, in that phase itself.
Mentally
सब ठीक हो चुका है, but मैं still उस phase में हूँ. So I thought, okay, ठीक है, अभी मैंने hard work किया तो इतना आ रहा है. What if I do more?
Yes.
So जबकि सब कुछ normal चल रहा है, and I can take care of my health as well, my sleep as well. But because I went through that traumatic phase of those 7-8 months, I was still operating, probably even I was being a little more harsh as I was in those months itself. So I was doing, I was working from morning 9 to 6, and then I was doing late night shoots and late night shifts from 6:30 to 3, and I continued this for 6 months.
Yes.
So my eating habits, my sleep, my rest, my chilling, everything that was like done. And I had to pay a huge price for that, because in 2014 around March, I had one of the worst relapses of health. So I was diagnosed with typhoid. It was a very critical one. And it was not diagnosed until later. So for 1 month, I was working these morning 9 to morning 3 shifts, and there was this phase where I was not taking care of the food items that I was eating. सड़क से कुछ भी मिल रहा है खा लिया, because घर पे बनाने का टाइम नहीं है, because I'm working like back to back. So पैक करने का सिर्फ ब्रेकफास्ट होता था, बट बाहर से कुछ भी खा लिया, रेडी से कुछ अंडे मिल गया खा लिया, रेडी से कुछ गच्चक मिल गया खा लिया, जूस पी लिया, कोई हॉट डॉग मिल गया, कुलचा मिल गया, वो खा लिया. एंड इट वॉज कलेक्टिंग, उसका जो एडवर्स इफेक्ट्स है वो कलेक्ट होते जा रहे थे. सो अराउंड मार्च, आई रिमेंबर स्टार्टिंग ऑफ द मार्च, आई हैड अ वेरी बैड फूड पॉइजनिंग. सो आई डिडंट टेल माई पेरेंट्स, बिकॉज वो आपके ना दिमाग में अभी तक वो फंसा होता है कि मेरे को करके दिखाना है कि मैं एक दिन बड़ा इंसान बन के फिर ही मैं बताऊंगा कि हाँ आई हैव मेड इट. सो वो एक ईगो,
टिपिकल मेल ईगो,
या वो टिपिकल मेल ईगो एक जुड़ी हुई थी साथ में. एंड आई हैड अ वेरी बैड फूड पॉइजनिंग. एंड उसके बाद आई डिड नॉट चेंज माई वर्क एथिक्स. I did not take care of myself just because I wanted to make more money. Yes. I didn't want to stop because I was like कि अगर मैं रुका फिर मुझे शुरू से स्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा और मैं नहीं करना चाहता. I don't want to do that. And I was I started getting fever. So 104 बुखार होता था और महीने तक I was having 104 fever every single day. 3 से 4 इबुप्रोफेन मेरे दिन की चलती थी. And I was like कि वो ego में सब कुछ चला
hustle culture,
yeah,
brand
hustle culture.
ambassador.
Yes, and that's why I always keep telling everyone कि although I did not follow, I did not practice what I preach right now, but you guys can take care of it. But that 1 month that was happening, and I remember I was doing a Wills shoot. Wills के लिए shoot कर रहे थे, and I came back home and I have no idea what happened. I just entered the door. And वो इतना ज़्यादा कलेक्ट हो चुका था, I just fainted. And I have no idea what happened after that. I just found myself shivering. I woke up after like 2 days. I was shivering, and my friends were around me. And my mom came 3 o'clock in the morning from Patiala to Delhi. She took me back, and then I was diagnosed with typhoid, and it was a critical one. So 17 दिन बड़ा difficult थे. I was in the hospital, and वो drips वगैरह लगती थी, 3 time drips लगती थी. So it was very painful kind of a time. So it took me a month to recover. But उसके बाद then I realized कि I have to slow down a bit. So that was the second struggling phase of my life when I talk about money. कि वो जब एक बार पैसा बनने लग जाता है ना, जब वो ट्रॉमा के बाद बाहर आते हो,
learning how to stop.
Yeah, learning how to stop, कि आप उसी स्पीड से बल्कि उससे ज़्यादा स्पीड खींच रहे होते हो. Even when your body is saying रुक जा भाई, अब now he is taking care of you. He has given you what you need. Don't be greedy. Okay. Now you have to take care of yourself more.
Right. Your mind can only help you till the time your body gives up. Right? So body का ध्यान रखो, and that's very important. But one thing to learn and understand from Abhinav's story is that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. वो 7 months में Abhinav gave up, तो मे बी दिस पॉडकास्ट वुडंट हैव बीन हैपनिंग, राइट? बट एक और भी चीज़ बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग है जो आपकी स्टोरी में मैंने नोटिस करा कि 7 months of struggle, but things turned around very fast.
Yes.
So if you are someone who's in a career वाली stage and if you are in that struggling stage, कुछ हो नहीं रहा, आप 100% दे रहे हो, ये रात को दिन होने में बहुत जल्दी हो सकती है. So that would keep that in mind.
Definitely.
And yes, a lot of times, I think there's a diagram जिसमें दो बंदे वो they're digging for gold. One person gives up just before that.
Yes.
The other person is like just one more hit.
Yes.
So a lot of times, guys, it's just about one more day.
Yes.
One more day. Just hang in there. But जब भी आप struggling phase में, just ask yourself that am I on the right track?
Right.
Don't be impatient and just keep on asking yourself, am I on the right track?
Yes.
And that would change the game. One question is that, like you mentioned that your dad was like 5,000 to 7,000 rupees. So Abhinav, question here, was that intentional or was it the maximum he was able to help you with at that time?
See, of course not. He could not. He could have given me more.
Yes, right.
And I could not understand at that time because when you are in that phase, आपको सब कुछ ना बहुत अपने against लग रहा होता है. When you are in that phase, because your survival instincts are high.
Yes.
It is just same as to if you leave a boy in a jungle and there are animals that are trying to attack. Even अगर वहाँ पे कोई हाथी आता है जो तुम्हें प्यार भी करने आ रहा है, आपको लगेगा वो ही मार देगा मेरे को. So उस टाइम किसी की भी कोई भी एक्ट हो रही होती है. So even if my dad said कि नहीं, now this is the limit and it doesn't matter कि तुझे ये चाहिए. Now you are on your own. I used to be like Dad, you can give me more. Why are you not helping me? You are against me. So उस टाइम बड़ा वो enmity वाला एक चलता था. But then later on I realized कि it was very deliberate of him to make sure that I push myself to my limits and actually realize the importance of money and how lucky I was being with them and how lucky I was that I had parents who were taking care of my food, my stay, my home, my schooling, my other expenses, मेरे कपड़ा, मकान, रोटी जो भी कहते होते. And so yeah, like that was the point when I really realized कि not that, but now I realize कि it was important phase for me and it was an important act by him to take such action, and I'm sure that it must be very difficult for him also to see that I'm struggling like this, and he is actually not being able to make me understand what he's trying to teach me.
Yes.
But still he is doing that hard step, he's taking that hard step. It doesn't matter how I am feeling in that particular
this
phase.
Circles me back to mentorship from fathers which we get.
Yes.
All those time पे हमें बड़ी लग रहा होता है कि यार ये क्या हो रहा है. My father is my enemy, number one.
Very true.
Yeah, this is like ego clashes between sons and dads बहुत ज़्यादा होते हैं. But a lot of times realizing that your dad is making sure you push yourself to your limits.
Yes.
And it's like kind of mentorship. A lot of times when guys के cases में देखा है, we are not able to give enough credit to our fathers.
Yes.
Right. So guys, if you are looking at this, if you are in a phase like that, or if you have realized and if you haven't given enough credit to your dads, do it. Right.
Definitely.
Because mothers को credit आजकल मिलने लग गया है बहुत ज़्यादा, but fathers को इतना credit नहीं मिलता. This is one of our purposes with being men. I think first episode में हमने ये discuss भी
किया था हमने.
Yes, so that is what just hug your dad, और अगर hugging वाला नहीं है थोड़ा awkward हो जाएगा. Just thank him, just touch his feet.
Yes.
And thank your dad for this, because मेरे career के first 2-3 years when business started doing well, मैं थोड़ा हवा में फिर से second time कि बस आपको तो कुछ नहीं पता, but over time I realized some of his advices made so much of difference.
Yes.
And last 3-4 years में मैं थोड़ा back to the ground हूँ.
Right.
That if I get any advice from dad, even if he's not that well versed with technology because हमारे online businesses हैं, I still listen to him and I try to understand his logic. And yeah, okay, so इसके अलावा was there any time when you got stressed because of money apart from these phases, Abhinav?
Man, it's like वो हमने पहले एपिसोड में भी बात की थी. It's like a hedonic machine. Like you have certain personalities. The kind of personality that I have. So I come in phases. Like I have seen my life going in phases. I have a phase where I just go all in, and then I have a phase when I'm like, okay, I'm chilling out.
Yes.
And that just keeps on improving all the time. But ये जो money वाला stress है, ये कभी ख़त्म नहीं होता है. Because as when you grow up from a boy to the man, or when you come into your late 20s, you start realizing कि जो आपने अपने numbers set किए हुए थे दिमाग में कि आप इतने numbers से खुश हो जाओगे, इतने से खुश हो जाओगे, you realize कि it is unstoppable.
Yes.
Unstoppable. Like वो चलता रहता है, वो रुकेगा नहीं कभी आपकी, क्योंकि आपने एक पीक को हासिल कर लिया, उसके बाद आप कुछ नया चाहोगे, उसके बाद कुछ नया चाहोगे, और जब भी आप कोई भी एक नया टारगेट बनाओगे अपने लिए, स्ट्रेस शुरू हो जाएगा, बिकॉज नाउ व्हेन यू हैव द न्यू टारगेट, योर माइंड एंड योर बॉडी wants to manifest that target, and then will start all that mind games in your mind and body की क्या करें, जहाँ से इधर चले जाए, क्या करें जो याद चले. So तो वो फेजेस कभी ख़त्म नहीं होते हैं, वो आते रहे हैं जाते रहे हैं. एज ए सेड, ये जब मेरा हेल्थ वाला इशू हुआ था मनी के बारे में, उसके बाद नया चक्कर शुरू हुआ था, बिकॉज आई वेंट एज सून एज आई गॉट हील्ड अगेन फॉर नेक्स्ट 3-4 months आई डिड वेल, and I think my last modeling gig in India was a show for Mr. Manish Malhotra, and uske baad I had a couple of contracts from Mumbai modeling agency, and then I flew off to Shanghai. So around those 8 months I did good for myself. I was outside India working for different agencies, and then I came back because mera health fir se kharab ho gaya. Usi chakkar mein I made that same mistake. They came back, and for good like 1.5 year I had to re-establish myself because I had to shift to a new career back. So उस time I lost all my savings again, तो वो फिर से वो वाला स्ट्रेस शुरू हो गया. But this time I was prepared because वो 7-8 months और जो फेस था उसने सिखा दिया.
उसके कंपैरिजन में कुछ
उसके कंपैरिजन में कुछ लगा नहीं, because I was ready for it.
This is when you started with YouTube and all that stuff?
I was preparing to start with YouTube. I was testing and I was collecting team. तो वो सब कुछ चल रहा था. तो उसके बाद अगेन देयर केम अ फेज जब वो ठीक हो गया, एंड देन आई रिलैक्स्ड, एंड देन अनदर फेज केम. तो वो चलता रहता है, वो स्ट्रेस वाला फेज कभी खत्म नहीं होता है.
ये तो बेसिकली डेलिब्रेट स्ट्रेस होता है, बिकॉज इन द एंड वी आर मेन विद मिशन, एंड दीस गोल्स वुड कीप ऑन चेंजिंग. गाइस, स्ट्रेस मल्टीपल टाइप्स के होते हैं. यूस्ट्रेस, डिस्ट्रेस एंड क्रॉनिक स्ट्रेस. जो अभी अभिनव ने डिस्क्राइब किया, दिस इज यू स्ट्रेस, दैट इज गुड स्ट्रेस, बिकॉज दैट वुड मेक श्योर यू रीच योर पीक परफॉर्मेंस. इतना स्ट्रेस होना चाहिए ज़्यादा चिल में, पीक परफॉर्मेंस यू वोंट बी एबल टू रीच इफ योर गोल इज समथिंग लाइक दैट. एंड दैट इज व्हाट मेक श्योर वो डिस्ट्रेस ना बने, आप अपने काम को ही हिट ना करने लग जाओ.
My main struggle has been because we talk about the distress, and it has been something a kind of a pattern that I've seen in my family, in the men of my family who are very ambitious and who want to achieve high in life. We tend to sacrifice our health. So that health point, and that is why I think I'm in this field of fitness, health and well-being, so that I can make other men more aware about the importance of health. Of course, wealth is really important, but there is a time to sow and time to reap. So when there's time to reap, you have to stop sowing and you have to start sowing for something else that you've been ignoring for that particular time when you've been working only on the wealth part. So my main distress has been that I started taking too much of distress even when things were going fine, and even when things were flowing as I wanted them to flow, ignoring all my health markers, ignoring my relationships, ignoring all the other aspects or the dimensions of a human life.
Yes.
So that is something you should definitely take care of, as to when you are going in that direction of being ambitious and trying to achieve your mission. Also have an eye on other aspects and dimensions.
This is great. एक चीज़ guys we need to understand is that lot of times हम stress को सिर्फ mental stress समझते हैं. Physical stress भी matter करता है. If you're not sleeping enough, if you have deficiencies, if you're not working out enough, all of these amount to stress. हम सोचते हैं stress. Lot of times I ask my clients that are you stressed? They are like no, not at all. Then I look at their sleep. Sleep messed up है तो फिजियोलॉजिकली स्ट्रेस्ड हो, मेंटली आप हो ना हो, राइट. ऑल्सो अब स्ट्रेस का एक स्टैंड पॉइंट बहुत ऊपर चला गया कि वी लिव इन सो मच ऑफ स्ट्रेस कि थोड़ा बहुत स्ट्रेस हमें स्ट्रेस लगता ही नहीं है, बट फिजियोलॉजिकली आपकी बॉडी को फिजिकल और मेंटल स्ट्रेस में डिफरेंस पता ही नहीं है,
राइट.
सो कीप दैट इन माइंड. हसल कल्चर को ना प्रमोट करो, ऑल्दो हसल कल्चर के एक्स ब्रांड एम्बेसडर इज सिटिंग विद अस.
बट वी डोंट हैव अ चॉइस. वी आर इन अ कल्चर जहाँ पे it is scary to stop. It is scary to just imagine, Yash, we stop this podcast for the next 3 months just to say okay, ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, 3 महीने बाद कर लेंगे, even if it's at peak. We know by our heart कि there can be something or someone who can make use of those 3 months and can bypass
Yes.
whatever we have created, and we might be able to lose all the progress.
Yes.
So we live in a culture where things are changing. AI is coming so fast, you know, artificial intelligence, there's chat GPT, there's mid journey now, the websites are being created automatically, everything is happening so fast. तो लाइफस्टाइल तो हमारा बहुत फास्ट हो रहा है, यू नो, AI is coming, artificial intelligence is in the house now, let's say like chat GPT, mid journey, websites are automatically being created, सब कुछ बहुत जल्दी हो रहा है. So in spiritual terms there are two terms, like there is a yang and then there's a yin. तो yang तो बहुत fast कर रहे हैं हम, everything is happening too fast, but उसी तरह we should also focus more on the other dimensions which are more like the yin dimensions.
Yes.
For our yang, like our sleeping habits, our relationships, meditation, yoga, relaxation techniques. तो इसको भी हमें fast awareness बढ़ानी पड़ेगी and इसको हमें अपनी life में include करना पड़ेगा. Otherwise you know, we are going to feel completely overburnt, and I've felt that in my life, and I'm sure that you must
Yes.
also felt कि वो जो burnouts होते हैं ना, they are really bad, not just for yourself but for everyone around you, for your loved ones, आपके relationships जिसके साथ है, even for your business, आपकी productivity नहीं आती, आपका focus नहीं आता, फिर वापस से आप उधर की side पे, पिछली side, you start regressing to that. So it's important to focus not just on the faster dimensions of creating wealth, but also on the faster ways of relaxing yourself.
Definitely, like Abhinav mentioned, don't just work on wealth part, work on your health, wealth, relationships, spirituality, and that being men.
Yes.
We cover all of
Yes.
these. By the way, guys, हमारा monthly flow ये है. We have one episode on health, one on wealth, third on relationships, fourth
Spirituality.
on spirituality, and then we repeat for the
Yes.
most part.
Yes.
So keep on watching being men. Talking about, जैसे अभिनव ने अभी mention किया, 3 months की timeline है. Guys, in the end, एक सिंपल सी चीज़ हमें अंडरस्टैंड करनी है कि इफ़ वी रिलैक्स टू मच, हमारी रिप्लेसेबिलिटी बढ़ जाती है.
Definitely.
जैसे AI का एग्जाम्पल दिया, AI इज मूविंग सो फास्ट दैट इट अमेजेज मी एवरी वीक. सो गाइस, एज हमें एज entrepreneurs, yeah, even if we are working for someone, we have to understand that, you know, we should not be getting replaced by AI. How do we make sure of that? Stay up to date with stuff.
Yes.
Learn. Make AI your assistant.
Yes.
ये नहीं है कि आप डरने लग जाओ उससे, बिकॉज अभी रिसेंटली मैं इन्फोसिस के फाउंडर का इंटरव्यू देख रहा था, एंड ही मेंशन्ड वन सिंपल थिंग. कहते कि यार 1970s 80s में जब इंटरनेट आया, आधे लोगों ने कहा कि यार जॉब नहीं होगी. ऐसा नहीं हुआ कि उनकी जॉब चलेगी, ये हुआ दे स्टार्टेड हैंडलिंग मोर कॉम्प्लेक्स टास्क्स. सो अगर AI भी आ जाता है तो ऐसा नहीं होगा हम जॉबलेस हो जाएंगे. इट्स जस्ट दैट वी वुड बी एबल टू यूज AI एज आर असिस्टेंट, एज अ टूल, बट स्टेइंग अप टू डेट वुड ऑलवेज हेल्प. एंड one advantage is that, you know, we live in a country where people are not that technologically advanced.
Right.
So we can always have that first mover advantage, especially when it comes to this stuff. Now back to getting stressed because of money. मेरे साथ लाइफ में एक बार हुआ आज तक सिर्फ getting stressed because of money. It wasn't because of money, but it was because of greed. So 2019 में मैंने as you guys know, we like being honest with everything here. This is a very recent thing. 2019 में मैंने एक फिटनेस चैलेंज स्टार्ट किया शेड 60 बाली के नाम से, दैट, यू नो, टॉप 5 विनर्स वुड विन अ ट्रिप टू बाली. जो मैंने एक्सपेक्ट किया था रिस्पॉन्स, तो उसका क्या होता है, जनरली क्या होता है, हमारी कोचिंग है, यू नो, यू कैन जॉइन व्हेनेवर वी हैव स्लॉट्स एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट. उसमें क्या होता है, 7 to 10 days का कैंपेन होता है, एंड देन, यू नो, वी मेक अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल स्टार्ट एट वंस. सो इसमें क्या था, द प्रॉमिस वॉज दैट, यू नो, वील मेक टॉप 5 विनर्स, we'll take top 5 transformations for a trip to Bali, which is fully sponsored by us. So पहली बार ये हुआ बिजनेस में कि यार मेरे पे थोड़ा सा, मेरे अंडर थोड़ा सा प्रेशर था कि यार आई हैव टू मेक श्योर कि जो अमाउंट हमने स्पेंड करनी है, जो अमाउंट प्रॉमिस की है बाली ट्रिप के लिए, वो निकल जाए. सो मैंने गोल बनाया कि यार आई थिंक वो 80 एनरोलमेंट्स आती तो उसमें ईजिली वो अमाउंट निकल जाती. तो मैंने गोल बनाया, पहला गोल बनाया कि यार कैंपेन डे 1 पे कि 80 लोग हो जाए, मुझे और कुछ नहीं चाहिए. फर्स्ट डे पे मैंने देखा 120 लोग हो गए.
वाओ,
ऑसम, मुझे खुश होना चाहिए था, नहीं, ये नहीं हुआ. सेकंड डे पे मैंने कहा कि 120 हो गए, 150 हो जाना चाहिए. सेकंड डे पे 160 हो गए. फिर वो गोल बढ़ते रहा एंड टिल द लास्ट डे आई वाजंट एबल टू स्लीप प्रॉपरली. आई थिंक फर्स्ट उसमें बैच में वी हैड लाइक 250 पीपल इन, लाइक शॉर्ट टाइम के हिसाब से प्रॉफिट वाइज वे इट वॉज ग्रेट एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ. बट वन थिंग विच आई रियलाइज्ड वाज कि यार बहुत I wasn't able to sleep well for these 12 days. I already have a running business, 2 running businesses, which are great, doing great, but I'm not able to sleep well. फिर मैंने सोचा कि यार फर्स्ट स्टेट 60 है, कोई ना. So अगले साल फिर से किया, स्टेट 60 अच्छा गया, ऑल गुड, बाली वगैरह एवरीथिंग वॉज गुड. नेक्स्ट ईयर मैं कहा फिर से करते हैं. नेक्स्ट ईयर मैंने गोल बनाया कि यार जो लास्ट टाइम था उतना ही हो जाए, ठीक है, क्योंकि फर्स्ट टाइम इट वॉज समथिंग न्यू फॉर द होल कंट्री, राइट. इंडिया में ऐसे चैलेंजेस वगैरह है नहीं एज सच. इट वॉज न्यू फॉर माई फॉलोइंग ऑल्सो, राइट. फिर मैं दूसरी बार गोल बनाया कि यार पिछली बार जितने मैचअप भी हो जाते हैं, दैट वॉज अराउंड 250 पीपल, आई एम गुड. 250 या 280 के आसपास थे. सेकेंड बारी में क्या होता है, 250 पीपल विद इन फर्स्ट 2 days हो जाते हैं. आई शुड बी हैप्पी? द आंसर इज नो. हर रोज मेरे को अगले 10 दिन नींद नहीं है कि यार ये हो जाए, ये हो जाए, ये हो जाए. सेकेंड टाइम वी हैड 400 पीपल. ऑसम. फिर मैंने सेकेंड टाइम सोचा कि यार स्ट्रेस तो हुआ, मेरे को रियलाइज हो गया सेकेंड टाइम भी कि यार मेरी नींद उड़ गई है. बट मैंने कहा कि कोई बात नहीं, ये सिर्फ इसलिए हो रहा है क्योंकि आई डोंट हैव अ टीम राइट नाउ. एंड सेकेंड टाइम था, फर्स्ट टाइम ऑब्वियसली नॉवेल्टी वाली चीज़ थी, सेकेंड टाइम है, सेकेंड टाइम भी होता है. फिर हमने थर्ड किया. थर्ड में सेम चीज़ हुई, गोल सेट हो गए सारे, बट फिर भी मेरी उन 10 दिन के लिए नींद उड़ गई. फिर मैंने सोचा कि यार अभी टीम नहीं थी. फोर्थ टाइम जब मैंने किया लास्ट ईयर, तब भी सारे गोल सेट हो गए. बीच में क्या हुआ, एड्स हमने सोचा था कि एड कैंपेन पे रन करेंगे, विल पंप इन अ लॉट ऑफ मनी, बट वो एड अकाउंट में कुछ इशू आ गया एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ, वो नहीं हुआ. बट वी आर एबल टू हिट ऑल द गोल्स. बट इस बार भी मेरी 10 रातों के लिए नींद उड़ गई. टीम थी, टीम मैनेज कर रही थी सब कुछ एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ. फिर मैंने रियलाइज़ किया यार इसको पॉज करते हैं, नॉट गुड फॉर माई मेंटल हेल्थ. अगेन वॉज इट बिकॉज मुझे स्केर्सिटी वाला सीन था, कोई पैसों की कमी थी? द आंसर वॉज नो, बट देर वॉज अ प्रॉब्लम इन माई माइंड. इट वॉज, आई वुड कॉल इट ग्रीड, right? Because if God has given you everything, businesses are working, you know this thing works, you know you are able to get results, still you're not able to sleep, there's something wrong. So I've paused it. I'm still, asking myself and finding myself in this ki yaar, why do I go wrong? Because now I realize that. So maybe this year I won't do it, or I wouldn't even do it like at all, like ever. Reason for that is God has given me everything, and if I'm losing sleep over something, that's not a good thing, right? I'm not myself. Because उन दिनों में क्या होता था, इवन इफ आई एम टॉकिंग टू माई गर्लफ्रेंड, आई एम क्रैंकी ऑल द टाइम. पेरेंट्स के साथ बात कर रहा हूँ, क्रैंकी ऑल द टाइम. फ्री टाइम है तब भी मैं अकेले बैठा हूँ, विच वॉजंट गुड. एंड दैट्स व्हेन आई रियलाइज कि दिस इज नॉट अ गुड थिंग, एंड आई एम स्टिल ट्राइंग टू वर्क अराउंड दिस, एंड होपफुली ठीक हो जाए ओवर टाइम. And that's when I got stressed. So guys, just keep in mind कि you won't just get stressed because of lack of it. You might just get stressed because of your greed of wanting more. So learning how and where to stop is very, very important.
Very true. So Yash, when this phase happened, before that, so things were going fine, right?
Very good.
Very good. So it was like good. So you didn't have to face any kind of financial issues, or you didn't feel कि business is going down or something like that.
कभी भी मतलब बाकी दोनों businesses में हर बार जब स्टेट 60 के उस टाइम पे हम 2 या 3 बिजनेस चल रहे थे, ऑल ऑफ देम वर काइंड ऑफ सुपर हाई प्रॉफिट.
राइट.
सो कभी वो इशू नहीं आया.
सो देयर वाज नो रीजन फॉर
नहीं यार, ऐसा जरूर होता है, हर मंथ वी हैव गोल्स एंड लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स वी आर नॉट एबल टू हिट देम. वो चैलेंज लगता है, कुछ उसमें प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं होती. आई थिंक स्टेट 60 वाले टाइम में क्या था, वो 10 दिन का था, और वो गोल चेंज हो जाता है डेली बेसिस पे. तो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट
एक्सपेक्टेशन ज्यादा हो गई खुद से.
एक्सपेक्टेशन बहुत ज्यादा खुद से, हाँ, बेसिकली. एंड द थिंग इज, if everything is sorted, for more wala system I think was wrong for me.
You didn't have any mentor or anything like that with you who could help you understand कि इसको कितनी limit में करना चाहिए? You were just doing it all by yourself.
I'm working with mentors all the time actually. Right? First वाला जब मैंने लॉन्च किया, I had a mentor who told me कि ये करो, and I used to update him daily. उसके बाद the thing is थोड़ा सा ना सिस्टम कॉम्प्लेक्स है. कॉम्प्लेक्स इसलिए बिकॉज 2 बिजनेस ऑलरेडी रन कर रहे हैं. थर्ड का लॉजिक ही नहीं बनता, राइट? थर्ड का एक्चुअली लॉजिक बनता नहीं है, बट उसको चिप इन कर देते हैं क्योंकि मजा बहुत आता था. वी आर एबल टू चेंज अ लॉट ऑफ लाइफ्स ऑल्सो. इट्स नॉट जस्ट अबाउट मनी. लाइफ्स भी बहुत ज़्यादा चेंज हो रही है, बिकॉज जनरली हमारा क्या है, टिकट प्राइस कोचिंग का इज मच हायर, तो दैट इज लोअर टिकट. तो वी आर एबल टू टैप इन टू that market where students are gay,
right?
Those who get excited with stuff like Bali and stuff like that, right. And Bali is a lot, going to Bali with and meeting new people with my whole team and all that stuff is a lot of fun. Just got back from Bali 3 weeks back, right? But वही बात है, some people are fine with this, right? जिस mentor से मैंने learn किया था ये challenges वाला, ये सारी चीजें, he runs challenges all year round, but it doesn't stress him.
So did he give you any targets, or did he tell you?
No,
that?
he didn't.
Did he ever reveal as to how many minimum target that he
Not
gets.
at all.
Nothing
Never.
at all. Right.
मैं खुद के साथ एक गेम खेल रहा था more which is wrong. So also I think that everyone goes through this कि more जैसे अभी आपने भी mention किया कि things got well but you were like I want to do more and
Yes.
more and more.
Yes.
Learning how to stop and maybe stopping and optimizing. Maybe I'll do it again.
Right.
ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि वो है लास्ट ईयर जब अक्टूबर खत्म हुआ मतलब चैट 60 स्टार्ट हुआ एक्चुअली जब थिंग्स नॉर्मलाइज हुई देन आई डिसाइडेड कि यार अब नहीं करना नाउ आई एम समवेयर इन द ग्रे एरिया that I'll do it the day I am ready, because this is a challenge for myself also, because if I do another campaign and if I'm not stressed, that would tell me that I've grown as a person.
Right.
Yes. So talking about stress and greed, next is talking about goals. So goals already आपने थोड़ा example दे दिया. अब आप goal setting किस हिसाब से करते हो कि it's like you set a goal कि यार मैंने इस year के end में यहाँ पहुँचना है, या you just set up goals in a way कि यार I just want कि month by month I am growing. That's what matters.
See, it's a very good thing. Now I think we are getting into a phase where we are going to give a lot of value to the audience that's watching right now. So when it comes to goals, I have a very simple strategy in my mind. One is short-term goal, second is a medium-term goal, and third is a long-term goal.
Yes.
So a short-term goal will be something like 1 to 2 years. Let's take example of Bali. Okay. So I want to go to Bali after 1 year. So I start saving and investing for it, and I start taking care of my expenses, start taking care of how much I need to earn, what the incoming needs to be, and then I make a plan for that. Right. So these
Is
three
that your actual plan या example है?
नहीं ये मेरा एक्चुअल रहता है हमेशा रहता है. इवन माई मनी मैनेजर माई फाइनेंशियल मैनेजर, सो ही हैज़ मेड श्योर, बिकॉज व्हेन आई मेट हिम फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम आई सेड कि मेरे को इतना पैसा चाहिए इतने सालों बाद. इट्स लाइक देखो यार ये ना बच्चों वाली बात हो जाती है. ही वाज वेरी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड, ही इज़ बीन वेरी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड, एंड विल कम टू दैट फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट ऑल्सो. इट्स एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट टू, जिस तरह हम फॉर एग्जांपल हम फिटनेस की ही बात करते हैं, इफ़ वी हैव टू लूज 10 kgs, लेट्स से वी सेट अ टारगेट ऑफ 10 kgs, वी नेवर प्रॉमिस आवर क्लाइंट्स कि हम 1 महीने में 2 महीने में कर लेंगे, खत्म कर लेंगे. लेट्स टेक शॉर्ट टर्म गोल्स. शॉर्ट टर्म गोल्स इज अ रियलिस्टिक टर्म गोल इज कि एक हफ्ते में यू शुड बी लूजिंग समवेयर बिटवीन 500 grams to 1 kg for the first month, right? And then second month it will slow down, 3 months it will slow down. So 5 months में हम 10 kgs करेंगे, but उसको reverse engineer कर देंगे, right? So this is how we break the goals. So this is how we will break the goals short term, so that because when you have those short term goals, मीडियम टर्म गोल्स, लॉन्ग टर्म गोल्स, अब कहना कि मेरे को एक घर चाहिए, घर आ सकता है आपका 10 साल के बाद, जैसे आप आज शुरू
वो हवा में बात होगी,
वो हवा में बात होगी. हाँ, लाइक आई बिलीव इन इट, बट हो सकता है कि 2 साल बाद 3 साल बाद आपकी मोटिवेशन ही खत्म हो जाए उसको कि भाई ये तो बहुत लंबा है, पता नहीं, देयर इज अ मोर चांस ऑफ यू गेटिंग डिस्ट्रैक्टेड. In the meanwhile, you might take a different kind of a tangent from where you were going. Short term goals का होता है कि चलो 1-2 साल आप फोकस बना के रखोगे, because you have a vision, you have a mission कि आपने ये particular country visit करनी है, or you have to buy this bike, or you have to visit this particular place with the family or with friends. तो उसके लिए इकट्ठा कर रहे हैं, so you start preparing yourself for that, and you start making amendments in your business, in your work ethics, so that you can start earning a bit more, so they can save for that. Then medium term goals is something like buying a car, buying a vehicle, and this is how I bought my first car for myself. So then that medium term goal will be something like 4 to 5 years. Like 5 years is what I would say is the minimum that you should target. 3 to 5 years is, but if you're just starting now, right now, it can come down to 3 years during the journey, but start with 5 years, okay, minimum. And then long term goal is 10 years. Okay, then 10 साल बाद I want to buy a house, right? तो मेरे को इतना करोड़ रुपए चाहिए, and this is how. And then I will start my investment strategy or strategy for my business. Then I will take a piece of paper, उसमें we will see कि हमें कितना हर मंथ इन्वेस्ट करने की ज़रूरत है, ताकि हम 1 साल के अंदर इतना शॉर्ट टर्म गोल रीच कर लें. 5 साल के अंदर हमें कितना हर महीने इन्वेस्ट करने की ज़रूरत है, ताकि हम ये पर्टिकुलर गोल है, ये पर्टिकुलर व्हीकल है, उसको अचीव कर लें. और 10 साल के अंदर हमें कितना हर महीने इन्वेस्ट करने की ज़रूरत है. सो दैट बिकम्स लाइक एन ऑटोमेशन फॉर यू, Now you don't have to do much. You just have to figure out ways from which you can increase that incoming, and automatically a certain sum of it will go to a short-term goal, certain sum will go to a medium-term goal, and certain sum will go to a long-term goal, and you are sorted.
Yes.
Then so after 1-2 years you will realize कि अच्छा ये तो हो गया. You're not every month you're not stressing about it कि मेरे को 1 साल बाद यार यहाँ घूमने जाना है, यहाँ घूमने जाना. It's automatically happening. Right? So this is how I go about my own goals.
आपने काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग बात करी. एक्चुअली मेरी टाइमलाइंस पर्सनली मेरे डैड की टाइमलाइंस एग्जैक्टली आप जैसी हैं. मेरी बहुत डिफरेंट है. मुझे 1 to 2 years के बाद का कुछ दिखता ही नहीं है. सो फॉर मी लॉन्ग टर्म इज़ लाइक 1 to 2 years. मिड टर्म कैन बी a quarter to 6 months. And short term is like 1 month. 1 month से कम तो it's like just being unrealistic with stuff. Also आपने 10x rule बुक पढ़ी है?
ग्रांट कार्डोन?
Yes.
बुक नहीं पढ़ी है मैंने, बट आई फॉलोड सम ऑफ हिज.
Yes, so basically सम अप कर दो तो ये है कि वट एवर योर करंट गोल्स आर उनको 10x कर दो. मुझे पर्सनली काफ़ी अच्छा वो लगा, बट दिस ओनली वर्क्स इफ यू आर नॉट अटैचिंग इट विद द टाइम. 10x कर दो गोल को, बट करो तो बिकॉज देर आर दीज पीपल हु गेट डीमोटिवेटेड व्हेन दे डोंट रीच द गोल. बिकॉज लॉट ऑफ टाइम स्पेशली व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट मनी एंड बिजनेस, बॉडी में क्या है कि बॉडी में वी कैन कंट्रोल ऑल वेरिएबल्स. डाइट, ट्रेनिंग, स्लीप, तीनों हम खुद कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं. मनी में वी कांट, राइट? इट्स अबाउट कस्टमर्स, इट्स अबाउट क्लाइंट्स, इट्स अबाउट एम्प्लॉयर्स, लॉट ऑफ स्टफ. इलॉन मस्क का एक कोट भी ऐसा कि डिसाइड व्हाट यू वांट टू डू इन 10 years, नाउ डू इट इन 1. सो आई लाइक बोथ ऑफ देम एक्चुअली, ऑल्दो achieving is not possible, but one thing which I've made sure, one thing which helps me in this is कि अगर मैं 10x गोल करा है तो एटलीस्ट मैं 2 to 3x तो हिट कर ही देता हूँ. सो लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स वी एंड अप सेटिंग वेरी स्मॉल गोल्स फॉर आवरसेल्व्स. सो दैट इज व्हाट. एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम व्हाट अभिनव जस्ट मेंशन्ड कि जो भी आप गोल सेट कर रहे हो, शॉर्ट, मीडियम, लॉन्ग, रिवर्स इंजीनियर करो.
Yes.
वरना गोल विदाउट अ प्लान इज अ विश.
Yes.
राइट? अभी आपने गोल सेट कर लिए 2 years अब, बट आपने कुछ किया नहीं. फिर 2 साल बाद बोलोगे ओ यार हुआ नहीं, डीमोटिवेट हो गया मैं. रिवर्स इंजीनियरिंग इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड मे बी उसको डिपेंडिंग अपॉन व्हाट टाइमलाइंस यू लाइक टू वर्क अपॉन, उसको वीकली, मंथली, क्वार्टरली, 6 months के टास्क में सेटअप कर लो. ऑल्सो वन थिंग विच आई सीन विद अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल इज, लॉट ऑफ कॉम्पिटेंट पीपल इज दे आर स्केर्ड ऑफ फेलिंग. उस चक्कर में वो अपने गोल्स बहुत ही कम करते हैं. एंड गोल्स थोड़ा रियलिस्टिक रखो. गेट अ मेंटोर हु कैन हेल्प यू विद सेटिंग अप रियलिस्टिक गोल्स. मेरे हिसाब से एकदम अनरियलिस्टिक गोल, हवा में गोल होना कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल आज आप स्टार्ट कर रहे हो और आज आप कह रहे हो कि यार घर लेना है सीधा, वो थोड़ा मे बी यू वुडेंट बिलीव इट. आई पर्सनली वुडेंट इफ आई सेट अप अ गोल फॉर माई सेल्फ. बट हैव द लॉन्ग टर्म विजन, बट add in realistic timelines and goals also. I think that would help a lot.
Definitely. See, at the end of the day, to be honest, I mentioned, okay, you can have that medium-term goal for the 5 years, long-term goal for the 10 years. Personally, I've achieved those 5-year goals in 1 year itself. Personally, I've achieved those 10-year goals in 3 years itself.
Yes.
But the main point of having this strategy is there are 2 things that I keep in mind while I suggest any of my closed ones or anyone who is looking for a financial advice. Although I don't think that I am the best person in doing that, but still if someone asks me as to what is my opinion, 2 things that this particular strategy does is discipline. It brings about certain discipline in terms of your investment strategy and in terms of a strategy of growing your businesses. And secondly, you don't put too much of stress, or you don't look around and try to compete with how other people are growing. Because as we said, for example, if Yash is growing at the speed of 10x, there might be a possibility that a friend of Yash, he does not have the ability or does not have the resources or the skills to do that 10x. And if he is looking up to you and he is saying, okay, I want to do this thing in 1 year, maybe he's not ready for it. And if you do it, probably he's trying to compete with you or compare with you, which is very common in almost all the men.
Yes.
Right?
100%.
And then that bad stress or that distress can come in, and then आपकी नींद भी उड़ जाती है कि पता नहीं मैं कुछ गलत कर रहा हूँ. Then you start doubting yourself.
Yes.
So just having this kind of realism कि okay, like एक गाड़ी लेनी है, चलो 5 साल है मेरे पास, I will just focus on improving myself bit by bit every single day, by week, by month and stuff. And as well, I will be more disciplined.
Yes.
Towards my investment strategy and towards the growth of my career, myself, my business, and my overall management of money.
Yes, this is very interesting because हमें understand करने की ज़रूरत है. एक concept होता है nature versus nurture.
Right.
Nurture is your environment, things you can control.
Yes.
Nature is like things which you are born with or things which have made you who you are right now, right? So for example, maybe some of the skills came naturally to me. Maybe they did not come naturally to anyone else, right? So whenever comparing, just compare yourself with your yesterday's version, today's version, your last year's version. Simple sa rule hai. If you don't look at your last year's activities and if you don't tell yourself that, I was a fucking idiot,
yes,
then you haven't grown. It's as simple as that.
यार हर एक महीने बाद ऐसे ही लगता है कि ये क्या था भाई, तू कौन
हाँ, वो
था ये?
स्पीड है. अगर आपके एनुअल उस पे नहीं हो रहा, आप लास्ट ईयर की चीजों को भी कह रहे हो कि यार आई वाज क्रेजी,
Yes.
maybe you haven't grown. So look into that. Also understand nature versus nurture. Do not compare your chapter 1 with someone else's chapter 14.
Definitely.
Same applies for fitness. Same applies for other stuff. Same applies for knowledge. मैं एग्जाम्पल देता हूँ. I don't like, for example, nutrition अगर मेरे को knowledge है. I actually started learning stuff 11 years back and I started working in 2017. That is like, 5 years after that. I had that unfair advantage, I would say.
Edge.
Unfair edge, yeah. Now, if you are deciding today कि यार मैंने आज से काम start करना है, तो you might not have those 5 years, right? I unknowingly learned. I was 44 kgs heavier for first 18 years of my life, right? So from day one of my business, of my work, I knew what a person who's obese feels like.
Right.
You might not have that. You might be lean.
Right.
Since the time you have been born. So these are the things. अब इस पे क्या मेरे को खुद पे क्रेडिट लेना बहुत easy है. But I realize these things also, and everyone has their own advantages.
Yes.
सबके पास है. अगर आपको लग रहा है आप सिर्फ disadvantage वाली गेम खेल रहे हो, you are not utilizing yourself. You are not looking at the brighter side.
True that. I think we discussed that in our second episode in which we talked about the it was on
Money making
businesses and stuff. I think we talked about that. It's always you versus you. Okay, look at yourself. Of course, it is good and it is important to get inspired from people
Yes.
around you, but make
Great
sure that you're getting inspired. You're not competing. You're not comparing. You're not being jealous. Okay. So if there's any discomfort or an uncomfortable feeling when you're watching someone else grow, catch yourself, channelize that energy, take that inspiration, and have the guts to reach out to that person if you can.
Yes.
As to boss, I would like to learn from you.
Yeah.
Right? Can you just help me? I'm in this kind of a situation. I would be grateful if I can get any kind of knowledge or information from you that can help me. Having that kind of an attitude, I think Yash is one of the epitome of that kind of
I haven't
attitude.
messaged that to a lot of people actually. You were one of them. And yeah, because one thing which I saw in your case, Abhinav, was consistency with how you are. Online world में लोग थोड़े flip हो जाते हैं 1-2 साल बाद. They are like very different every year. I've just seen you evolve, but staying on the same line when it comes to values. So that's something which I saw, and after interacting with you for the first time and stuff like that, I understood that you are even better than who you show you are. So it's like it's inspirational for me, and great to be learning from you day in and day out.
Thank you so much, Yash. But again, I would say this skill is way better in you than me, and I have certain amount of awareness that I am not that good in reaching out to people because I'm so engrossed in myself and I just want to figure out everything. So that is again different kind of personalities, different kind of people. I'm someone who wants to make sure, because I'm someone who wants to just make sure that कुछ भी कर रहा हूँ मैं खुद से figure out करूँ, खुद से करके दिखाऊं.
Yeah, I think all of us guys have this problem.
Guys had, and also I've had past experiences throughout my childhood, and I said वो आपके mind और आपकी body की ना cells में वो traumas और सब कुछ रह जाता है कि where the kind of people that I've been around during my childhood or during my teenage years, me reaching out to someone for help has actually turned out in an opposite direction of them being taking advantage of me and my resources, my time, my energy. So I'm a little hesitant to do that. So I'm like, मैं अगर figure out करूँगा तो सब कुछ खुद से करना चाहता हूँ. But definitely there have been times where I've exposed myself to mentors, good people from whom I've learned a lot and got a good amount of exposure. So this is something I always tell anyone that I meet. Boss, if you feel that there's someone who you think knows better than you and he's in the same kind of genre or business that you want to get in, do not waste time, reach out. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा ये होगा कि दूसरा बंदा रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं करेगा. Does not matter, there are going to be other people, those who are going to be available to you.
Yes, we as guys don't like rejection. I don't think any guy likes rejection. And that is there with me also. My hack to that is just see what this person is selling and buy that.
Right.
Right. I suck at outreaching because, again, to be quite frank, I also don't like rejection at all. But over time, I've realized that, when you try new things, when you reach out to more people, you realize that a lot of people say yes. A lot more people say yes. There's this book called Influence is Your Superpower.
Right.
इतनी famous book नहीं, but it's a great book. If anyone is interested in understanding psychology, how to communicate and stuff like that, very good book. Start with that. And again, yes, rejection sucks, but then find a way out of it.
Yes.
For me, not wanting rejection made sure that, whatever I did in career-wise had to stand out. Right? So that actually helped. And, whenever I have reached out to people, apart from Abhinav, for the most part, I just ask them that, do you have any service? Can I buy it?
Yes.
Right? If they don't have it, they don't. A lot of times they don't respond. But in the end, I did not say that, I need your help. I was like, okay, I'm ready to give and then take. So give before you take, and I think that should change the game. And understand nature versus nurture, comparison, inspiration low, comparison सिर्फ खुद के साथ करो, and just keep on asking yourself that how can I improve.
Yes.
Don't be too harsh on yourselves, but that would change the game.
Beautiful.
And also another thing which I would like to mention is don't be entitled. Inbox में बहुत बार चीज़ हुई है कि बंदा मैसेज करता है. I personally try to get back to a lot of people. लोग मैसेज करते हैं for help and then they are showing attitude. Where the fuck does that entitlement coming from? Right? So if you need help, if you want to reach out, I'll tell you something. I saw it on Instagram. मेरी technique या tactic नहीं है. See, for anybody, the most important person for anybody is themselves, right?
Yes.
So whenever starting a conversation, start with how great they are.
Yes.
Start with that, and from there, transition to your ask, right? If you start with what I want, why would they care? No one would care,
Yes.
right? Even if someone wants to help you, and again, don't be entitled. No one is entitled to give you 1 second of their life.
Right.
Right? Because, either if you are paying them, that's a different story. If there's an agreement or something like that, it's a different story. But entitlement hona is like, that is something which would kill your manhood like crazy.
Yes.
Right? Because आप entitled हो गए, because entitlement से start होता है कि यार I deserve this without doing the work. Then it moves to blame.
Right.
Then it moves to everyone was bad to me, no one replied. Why would they reply?
Yes.
Right? Then it becomes moves to victim mindset.
Right.
And everything starts from lack of action. So, keep that in mind. And
Very
that
true.
should help.
And because we are on social media, I think a lot of our followers also feel that they are entitled to something just because they follow us. And one thing that I want everyone to know, that if you are the one who is reaching out to someone with a purpose of learning from someone or trying to get their service or anything, see, you are the one who is reaching out to them. So make sure that whatever behavior you start with initially, stick with it. Do not become something else.
Yes.
बहुत लोग वही they will approach you. A lot of people will approach you, showing that they have intentions of learning from you, and then the entitlement starts. A lot of this happens with our followers also. They feel that they are entitled just because they follow us, so that we owe something to them. But please understand that at the end of the day, we are here. Of course, we are trying to provide you value, but it is not that we are here only and only for you.
Yeah.
Right? We are for ourselves also.
Yeah.
You are following us not because we pleaded or we, हमने कोई हाथ नहीं फैलाया कि आप हमें follow कीजिए. You are following because you think that we have something of value that no one other has.
Yes. Yeah.
किसी और के पास वो value नहीं है जो हम आपको दे रहे हैं.
Straightforward give and take.
So always maintain that kind of a respect. And a lot of people become, because we keep on, I don't know if that has happened with you, I'm sure it has happened. It has happened with me that I keep on getting these threats in my DMs. Sometimes it happens in my comment section also. I block them. But most of that I feel it comes from that entitlement part, कि just because मैं इस बंदे को follow कर रहा हूँ या reach out कर रहा हूँ, I'm the one who is making that first move. I deserve that attention from this person. Right? Always be very clear about that thing when you're approaching to someone. Always maintain the same kind of respect that you are maintaining initially, so that the other person knows that you are there with good intentions, right? And you really want to learn. And you will see the magic. The other person will be more interested in helping you out more. जितना आप सोच रहे थे, दूसरा person शायद आपको उससे भी ज़्यादा help कर देगा. तो अपनी जितनी भी आपने अपने ego अपने दिमाग में बनाई हुई है, उसको बाहर फेंकिए. जब आप किसी को reach out कर रहे हो, always have that humility and that first कैरेक्टर जो आपने दिया होता है ना स्टार्टिंग में, उसको हमेशा निभा के चलिए आगे.
Yes. Also, entitlement comes from lack of ownership.
Right.
Guys, if you are a man, you should have ownership for everything, your life, your relationships, your partner, your family. And agar entitlement ki habit hai, how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? That might translate to other areas of your life. अगर आपको किसी को ये बात egoistic लगती है, तो egoistic नहीं है. It's just that, we are trying to help you here, right? It's not about that, because, we appreciate all of you guys being here, following us, because one thing which we realize is you are giving us your most valuable asset, that is your time. But again, if that is, leading to entitlement in your life, our job is to let you know very honestly that you should stop with the entitlement. Guys, ये किसी को egoistic ना लगे, but as your mentors, our job is to tell you that, our job is to make sure that whatever habits we have come past, you guys also come past it, because हमने भी ये mistakes अपने किसी ना किसी way में करी होंगी, entitlement related. And guys, opposite of entitlement is ownership. Take ownership for everything, your life, your goals, who you are, who you say you are, and you'll level up, and that is what. And don't make mistakes we made, and let's move forward.
We are here to make those mistakes for you. We've already done that.
Yes.
Please don't make yourself.
And again, we appreciate you and thank you for giving us the most important, valuable asset of yours, which is your time. Okay, so Abhinav, talking about investments, back to the topic. Talking about the investments, तो मुझे कोई अपनी bad investment story सुनाओ. है कोई सबसे खराब?
हाँ, definitely. So my first bad investment was.
Guys, एक pause. अभिनव ने जिस confidence के साथ definitely कहा, understand that at every level people make multiple mistakes. It's not just one investment. There would be multiple mistakes. Yes,
I still make those occasional fuck ups every now and then. They have reduced because I'm in my 30s and I need to be more responsible.
Yes.
Because I'm not just taking care of myself. There are other people and there are other the things and resources that I have to take care of. But my first worst investment was after those 4 or 5 months of earning a good amount of money during my modeling gig. Then was when I started realizing कि अब पैसा कमाना ज़रूरी नहीं है, सिर्फ उसको invest करना भी ज़रूरी है. So I became interested in trading and share market and mutual funds and stuff like that. तो उस टाइम ऐसा लगता था कि एक बुक पढ़ लो तो आप इन्वेस्टर बन गए हो. तो I read that book, Benjamin Graham की The Intelligent Investor. I'm sorry if I'm taking the name wrong. The Intelligent Investor. Yes. I read. Most of the content was based on the United States version of investments, but I got some basics out of it. तो मुझे लगा हाँ, मुझे को बुल्स भी समझ आ गया, मेरे को बियर भी समझ आ गया, मेरे को सब समझ में आ गया. दलाल स्ट्रीट का मैं पूरा बड़ा सबसे बड़ा प्रो बनने वाला हूँ. So that was when a few of my friends in the circle they were also investing. So I thought कि अब मैं सिर्फ पढ़ चुका हूँ, theoretically मैंने पढ़ लिया है. So now I can also go through the practical stuff. So I started doing it. So my worst mistake initially was I started taking tips and started investing just because someone was giving me tips. And I started relying or giving money to someone else to take care of that. And got fucked up badly. I think whatever amount I invested, 70% of it was washed out within like 3-4 months, and it was a lot during those times. So that was when I realized कि सबसे पहले तो भैया आप इतने बड़े धुरंधर नहीं हो जितना आप सोचते हो. दूसरी चीज़, अपना पैसा कभी भी किसी दूसरे इंसान को ना दो जब तक वो एक सर्टिफाइड या क्वालिफाइड फाइनेंशियल मैनेजर ना हो और जिसकी एक अच्छी रेपुटेशन ना हो मार्केट के अंदर. That was when I started becoming a little more conservative with my investments rather than just doing day trading, going directly into equity. I started pulling back myself and investing more in like mutual funds, a little low risky stuff. Because this time I was young, so this time high risk, बहुत ज़्यादा ना
high risk, high reward,
dopamine.
It's like
you're kind of in a gambling mode. You're not even in investing
crypto
mode.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Crypto.
We'll come out to that. We'll come on that also. I've made a fuck up in that also. But so firstly, not taking tips and making investment based on those tips. Secondly, not giving other people my money to be managed unless it's a qualified or certified financial manager and has good reputation. Thirdly, understanding the risk that you're getting into and always taking the consideration that that money that you're investing in anything that you don't understand, it can be washed off and it can become zero
Yes.
in a matter of days, in a matter of weeks. Right? So these were my few learnings from the first fuck up that I did in investments.
दिस इज अ ग्रेट पॉइंटर दैट यू नो ऑल्सो जैसे आपने मेंशन किया कि सर्टिफाइड भी है बंदा या क्वालिफाइड भी है, डिग्री करी हुई है, प्रैक्टिकल वर्सेस थ्योरेटिकल में बहुत फर्क आ जाता है अकॉर्डिंग टू मी. सो यू नो व्हेनेवर giving your money to someone, just ask yourself, do you look up to this person because of the money this person has? That can actually give you a good pointer. Also, I personally believe anything which promises overnight success is a sham.
Yes.
Be it your fat loss, जो आपको कह रहे हैं एक वीक में आपका सारा फैट लूज करा देंगे, 6 packs आ जाएंगे, भाग जाओ. सेम अप्लाइज फॉर मनी. इट्स अ वेरी सिंपल प्रिंसिपल कि अगेन गाइस, बिंग मैन पे आप नोटिस करोगे, वी नेवर टॉक अबाउट कि भाई आज से कल में कुछ ये चेंज हो जाएगा. एवरीथिंग रिक्वायर्स डिसिप्लिन एंड हार्ड वर्क ओवर टाइम, वॉट एवर वी आर डिस्कसिंग एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट. सो ओवरनाइट सक्सेस मूवीज में भी नहीं होता एक्चुअली. सो ओवरनाइट सक्सेस से थोड़ा दूर रहो तो बेटर है. प्ले द लॉन्ग टर्म गेम एंड ऑल्सो अंडरस्टैंड, जैसे आपने इंटेलिजेंट इन्वेस्टर का मेंशन किया, इट्स वन ऑफ द बेस्ट बुक्स, बट व्हाट वर्क्स आउटसाइड माइट नॉट वर्क इन इंडिया. बिकॉज आई नॉट टेक नेम्स ऑफ कंपनीज, बट आई थिंक ये बेंजामिन फ्रैंकलिन या वॉरेन बफे वगैरह का ही वो है कि सिंपलेस्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट स्ट्रैटेजी इज जस्ट इन्वेस्ट इन द कंपनीज जिनके प्रोडक्ट्स आप खुद यूज करते हो.
Who have stood the test of time.
इंडिया में डोंट डू दैट. अभी रिसेंटली 2-3 कंपनीज ऐसी हैं जो मैं डेली यूज कर रहा हूँ, डेली एप्स, बट उनका IPO आता है, एवरीथिंग गेट्स फक्ड अप, राइट. नॉट टेकिंग नेम्स हियर, बट
उस टाइम तो सिर्फ पेनी स्टॉक्स दिमाग में बजते थे, बिकॉज पेनी स्टॉक्स का ये आई थिंक इट वाज मेंशन्ड समवेयर, इफ आई माइट बी रॉन्ग, these are the stocks who have the ability to give you 5x, 10x, 20x returns. तो एज अ यंग बॉय, एज अ यंग मैन, आपको तो वही सुन रहा होता है कि मेरे को तो कल ही लाख का 2 बनाना है, कल ही लाख का 10 लाख बना देना है. सो आई थिंक दैट इज ऑल्सो बिग ट्रैप दैट वी गेट आवरसेल्व्स इनटू.
एक और चीज़ मेंशन करूँगा, आजकल ऐप्स वगैरह आई हुई हैं जिसमें आजकल लीगली आप बेटिंग कर सकते हो. दैट इज़ नॉट इन्वेस्टमेंट, राइट. बेटिंग इज बेटिंग. जस्ट आस्क योरसेल्फ कि ओवरनाइट सक्सेस तो नहीं आ रहा है, ओवरनाइट फिक्स सक्सेस आ रहा है, तो यू नो कीप दैट इन माइंड. टॉकिंग अबाउट माई बैड इन्वेस्टमेंट्स, मॉनिटरीली मैंने क्रिप्टो के अलावा कोई इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं करी आज तक. मेरी इन्वेस्टमेंट्स ज़्यादातर रही हैं अभी भी 90% ऑफ द टाइम्स. सो बेसिकली दैट डज द इन्वेस्टिंग फॉर मी. सो मेरी खुद की इन्वेस्टमेंट रहती है जस्ट ऑन माई सेल्फ. सो बेसिकली माई रॉन्ग इन्वेस्टमेंट्स हैव बीन ऑन रॉन्ग पीपल ऑफ टाइम एंड मे बी इवन रॉन्ग मेंटोर्स इन सम प्लेसेस. बट वन थिंग विच आई हैव लर्न्ड इज आई हैव नेवर कम बैक एम्प्टी हैंडेड. दैट मीन्स अगर मैंने एकदम गलत इन्वेस्टमेंट भी कर दी, मतलब रॉन्ग मेंटोरशिप ले ली, इवन इफ दैट वाज कॉस्टली, आई लर्न समथिंग, राइट. ऐसा नहीं आई जस्ट गिव अप होप कि यार ये तो बेकार था, राइट. सो माई रॉन्ग इन्वेस्टमेंट्स हैव बीन इन रॉन्ग पीपल. बट ऑन द अदर स्पेक्ट्रम, लाइक आई मेंशन्ड दैट every penny of mine, either it goes to dad reinvests it, or it is reinvested in myself. उसमें अगर मैं बता दूं, अभी तक मेरा रेशियो चल रहा है 10:1. अगर मैंने रॉन्ग लोगों में, रॉन्ग मेंटोरशिप्स में भी इन्वेस्ट किया, if I've invested X, I've got, on an average, I've got back 10X.
Right.
But again, that has happened over years, and this is something which I learned in 2018. पहली बार मैंने ट्रैवल करना स्टार्ट किया टू लर्न फ्रॉम टॉप कोचेज. आई थिंक बेन पैकुल्स्की से लर्न किया था, यूजीन टीओ से किया था. जब मैंने पहली बार इन्वेस्ट किया, दोज वर बिग अमाउंट्स, स्पेशली इफ आई लुक्ड एट माई बिजनेस एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट. एंड व्हेन आई रियलाइज दैट यू नो रिटर्न्स बहुत फास्ट आने लग गए, happened after a while, but returns were much higher. That's when I realized कि यार ये तो crazy चीज़ है. Invest in yourself. So my investments have just been on myself, my business, and you know obviously money transfer to that. Apart from that, crypto. वही again बीच में मेरे 2-3 दोस्त friends actually they were making good money.
Right.
Again I was like चलो मैं हीरो बन जाता हूँ.
बनाया अच्छा बनाया.
अभी भी पैसे वॉलेट में पड़े, मैंने खोला ही नहीं. Literally I did not open it. Because again the thing is, Alex Hormozi का ये quote है that if you get to know an investment strategy which everyone is using, you are already very late. Right. And if I look back again, मेरे पास इतनी info नहीं है, कोई crypto expert आके ये ना कहने लग जाना कि oh you guys don't know anything. जो to my knowledge, to my understanding, मुझे लगता है सारी चीज़ें वो बहुत ज़्यादा इन्फ्लेटेड थी.
Yes.
FTX वगैरह, लूना वगैरह वाला जो भी हुआ है. एंड अगेन आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड इट कम्प्लीटली. अब इफ़ यू आर समवन हु हैज़ इन्वेस्टेड ऑल द मनी इन क्रिप्टो एंड मेरे कहने पे मत निकालना. पर्सनली आई हैव लॉस्ट होप इन दैट, बट अगेन आई हैव रिसर्च दैट. One thing which I would like to mention is don't invest in stuff you don't understand.
True that.
Right? Full understanding करो, खुद knowledge gain करो, because day in and day out आपको ऐसे लोग मिलेंगे, ऐसे friends मिलेंगे who are ready to invest money on your behalf. But भाई understand करो कि they wouldn't take care of your money the same way you would, because you have worked day in and day out for that money.
Yes.
Keep that in mind.
Yes.
Okay, so bad investments होगी. Abhinav, any biggest money mistake apart from this, what we have already discussed?
A lot of them.
कोई है top on the list जो अभी दिमाग में आई हो सीधा?
Not really. Like I just shared that यही investments वाली जो mistake थी. इसके अलावा I would say spending a lot on friends, a lot of people, not actually realizing that how bad the rainy days can get. And spending more than what I should be earning, but that is again very common thing.
Yeah.
तो investments बहुत रही हैं, खराब भी रही हैं. I've been broke, but one thing I would say that for a man, you can always come back from any kind of bad investment. What I would suggest is, for a man, don't be broke and heartbroken at the same time. I think that is the worst kind of.
We need an episode on that.
Yes. So I think my worst phase, and that has happened with me 3 times. That 3 times I, if I've been broke, and I've been heartbroken at the same time. Those have been the most difficult times, and it has taken a lot out of me, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, to come out of that phase. So money is not something that bothers me. But a lot of young men that are watching, I would just give them an advice: don't just try not to be broke and be heartbroken at the same time. So if you अगर दिल लगा रहे हो किसी के साथ, just make sure you have enough of backup, so that even if things go the other direction, you have something for yourself to restart. Because when you are with someone as an independent man, a lot of your monetary resources also go into that relationship.
For sure.
Right? And when that relationship doesn't work out, practically that seems to be a huge loss.
Yes.
And if you're not ready for it, and if you are someone who is emotional and is not in a stage where you're really thinking about life in a practical sense, it can become very difficult for you to get out of that kind of a phase.
This is actually a great pointer, because in the end, if you're heartbroken, you can't remake the money at that time, especially when there's no emotional stability. In my case, what I've seen is कि emotional stability with everything was very good, but relationships, not at all.
Yes.
मतलब whenever I talk to Akanksha about this, our own relationship also, क्या ही करी जाता था. So keep that in mind, and do not put all of your eggs in one basket, investment wise and also time wise.
Yes.
Right? So just be mindful. But again, relationships में अभिनव आपसे मैं ज़्यादा questions नहीं पूछूंगा इससे related, because I want a full episode on that, because मुझे खुद को भी context नहीं है इन चीज़ों के बारे में. So I think we'll do an episode on that soon. But again, guys, don't keep all of your eggs in one basket, be it investments, be it life. Also make sure कि don't fight a battle in which you are losing on both sides.
Yes.
कि monetarily भी issue हो गया है, वो भी हो गया, because for example, you break up, your health would automatically get messed up, right? So your wealth is messed up, emotional health is messed up, and relationship is already messed up, right? So तीनों sides पे थोड़ा mess up होना, come back for some people becomes very hard.
Yes.
इसका ये मतलब नहीं है अभिनव is sitting in front of us giving advices to us on this. So 100% निकल सकते हो, but don't get into that zone, because everyone is different.
Yes.
Everyone has different level of stress resilience, and I've seen a lot of good guys who are great with money and stuff like that, great with career, super disciplined, but relationship वाले मामले में जब breakup वगैरह होता है, they are not able to function whatsoever.
I completely agree to it, and again, it's personality. I just want to. I'm really grateful for the kind of genes that I've got from my mother and father, because I think they are way more resilient than who I am, and I'm grateful for the Creator to give me resilience as to the times that I've seen. But I also have seen a lot of people around me who could not come back from a single relationship, and their whole life, their whole future, everything just changed and not for good. So make sure that you, whatever stage you are in, of course you are working on yourself, monetary, financially, but also make sure that you are becoming mentally stronger, physically. Of course, we are in fitness, we always say that physical and mental, that strength goes hand in hand, but emotional strength and emotional intelligence is something that only real life struggles can teach you. And keep becoming more resilient in terms of your emotional well-being as well.
Definitely. And keep in mind, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. If you are in a hard phase, you'll come out of it.
Yes.
Okay, so money mistakes are done with. Now let's talk about money management.
Right.
And I'm interested in hearing, because this would be new for me. So Abhinav, like you mentioned that you live away from home.
Yes.
So how were you managing your money when you were not making this much? And how are you managing right now? और थोड़ा मुझे बताओ कि hidden expenses के बारे में मैंने पता करना है. For example, एक expense तो हो गया, obviously rent is one expense. How are your expenses higher being in this city versus your hometown?
Right. Okay, so let's take it step by step. So let's say if you're someone who is staying away from home, rent is something that you have to take care of. Then is the office maintenance that you have to take care of.
सबसे मेरे को एक चीज़ बताओगे, सबसे बड़ा एक्सपेंस रेंट होता है?
सबसे बड़ा एक्सपेंस रेंट होगा, बिकॉज वो ऑफिस और जो आपका हाउस रेंट है, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी द बिगेस्ट चंक, राइट. आफ्टर दैट द मिसलेनियस एक्सपेंसेस बिकम्स द सैलरी ऑफ योर टीम, राइट. मेंटेनेंस ऑफ दोज ऑफिसेज एंड रेंट्स की, कभी गैस सिलेंडर खत्म हो गया आपका, या कभी चूल्हा चला गया, एसी खराब हो गया, या ऑफिस में कुछ ब्रेक अवे हो गया, वो चलेगा. उसके बाद आपकी गाड़ियाँ जो भी एसेट्स हैं आपके, राइट, दे आर डेप्रिशिएटिंग एवरी सिंगल ईयर, सो दे नीड मोर मेंटेनेंस, उनकी सर्विसेज एंड फलाना दिमकाना, वो सब कुछ चलता रहेगा. एंड उसके बाद आपके जो आपकी डिज़ायर्स और लग्जरीज और एक लाइफस्टाइल आपने मेंटेन किया, बिकॉज जस्ट हैविंग अ हाउस, जस्ट हैविंग एन ऑफिस इज़ नॉट इनफ. आई हैव ऑल्सो अपग्रेडेड माई लाइफस्टाइल फ्रॉम द लास्ट 5 years 10 years दैट आई हैड. तो उसको मेंटेन करना इज़ अलग, एंड देन planning to upgrade it, because at the end of the day, it's not just money that we are living in as men. We are also focusing on upgrading our lifestyle, becoming better, looking better, having better environment, having better social circle. So usme bhi aapka jata hai, because the better social circle you get in, you will have to invest more in visiting better places, spending more on the kind of clothes that you're wearing, वो थोड़ा superficial stuff जो हमें करने की ज़रूरत है. So mainly ये सारी चीज़ें आपके miscellaneous expenses में आनी शुरू हो जाती हैं. But firstly I get a lot of my financial education from, I won't say my dad, but his genes have helped me, because he is a professor in accounts. So I have those genes. So my mom,
मैथ्स आपकी स्लो है उस हिसाब से?
Sorry,
मैथ्स आपकी थोड़ी स्लो है उस हिसाब से?
स्लो हो जाती है कई बार.
अंकल को शिकायत लगानी पड़ेगी हमें.
So my mom and my dad, so they are very different personalities. So my mom is someone who can manage money, but she is kind of she lives life that in a way that's just one life to live. So let's go all in and let's give everything that we've got.
That is great.
Right. And my father is someone, because if you feel that I've been through struggle, my father has been through 10 times more struggle, and he's 10 times more resilient than who I am. So he is more conservative, when God makes two people come with each other, it is always to bring a balance. So वो दोनों perfect एक balance बनाते हैं एक दूसरे के लिए. And both genes are in me.
It is the opposite in my home. My mom's like always scared and stuff like that.
Right.
And dad is like चलो.
Right. So वही balance है ना पूरा. So I get a lot of traits from my mom in terms of my expenditure, and I don't believe in pundits and stuff, but they have always been like कि तेरे पास आएगा बहुत, but चला भी जाएगा उतना ही जल्दी, right? And so whenever I've found myself in a phase जहाँ पे I've been spending lavishly, mom, it's your genes, I'm so sorry. And whenever I've been able to save for myself or create a good financial strategy for myself, I would say those are the genes of my dad, and some amount of education that an experience that I've gained through life. So I've had this basic kind of a formula from last 10 years, and I still stick with it. This is the safest, even when I've been broken or heartbroken. At any point of time, I just need to come back to this formula, and I can get back to wherever I left from. So first, let's talk about, there is income. Okay, incoming is the amount of money that's coming in. Okay, Then we talk about your expenses. Now expenses, there are two kinds of expenses. One is your needs, one is your desires, right? And most people, I feel, they falter because they are mostly looking at as investments as the main goal of earning money. What I feel is when you are earning money, you are basically trying to live life in a free manner and trying to get the desires part first. So incoming minus your expenses, the must, the needs. Expenses, and minus your investments. Like they are the main ones first, okay? Then whatever is left, that will go in my desires.
Right.
That way you are foolproofing yourself कि आप कहीं पे गड़बड़ ना करो, because when the desires come in before the investments, हमारा human mind, it is not able to function properly. आज, and when we talk about desires, these are like buying luxurious clothes for yourself, buying gaadi for yourself.
Starts with clothes, gets
travels,
to cars.
and going for social gatherings, parties, alcohol. So this is all what are desires. अगर मेरा investment को मैं पहले बना के रखता हूँ, if I take care of the investments first and desires come in the last, so I'm automatically foolproof. Now I can enjoy that money in any way I want because I know that I've foolproofed myself, right? So आपके पास नीड्स, आपको एक बेसिक आइडिया होना चाहिए कितनी आपकी नीड्स हैं, यानी कितने आपके बेसिक एक्सपेंसेस हैं जो आपके लाइवलीहुड को बना के रखते हैं. एंड देन योर इन्वेस्टमेंट्स, एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट्स आपने वेट नहीं करनी है कि जब आपके एक्सपेंसेस और डिज़ायर्स खत्म हो जाए उसके बाद जो पैसा बचेगा, बिकॉज अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल हैव दिस स्ट्रैटेजी कि जो बच जाएगा उसमें से इन्वेस्ट कर देंगे, जो प्रॉफिट होएगा उसमें से इन्वेस्ट कर देंगे. नो, योर इन्वेस्टमेंट्स नीड टू बी लाइक, माई इन्वेस्टमेंट्स आर ऑटोमेटिक. Within the first 10 days, I have set up automated certain systems through my financial manager, through my own understanding, whatever things I'm investing in. जो भी पैसा आता है automatically उधर चला जाता है. So that I know कि जो भी मेरा savings account में या current account में जितना भी पैसा पड़ा हुआ है, I can खर्चोफy it as I want, because I know that there's already money that has been taken care of. Right. So firstly, now we'll talk about investments, because income, it depends on how you are generating income through your businesses and stuff. Expenses, you have to calculate it, कितना आपका खर्चा हो रहा है, if you are maintaining an office, if you are maintaining a गाड़ी, if you are maintaining a team, उनकी सैलरीज करने के लिए क्या है. उसके बाद हम बात करेंगे इन्वेस्टमेंट्स की. राइट, इन्वेस्टमेंट्स के लिए सबसे पहले वील टॉक अबाउट अ सेफ्टी नेट. सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट आई टॉक. और ये सेफ्टी नेट वो नेट है कि बाय चांस सब कुछ बंद हो जाता है, सब काम खत्म हो जाता है, कितना पैसा आपके पास पड़ा हुआ है बचने के लिए. सो इफ़ यू आर दीज थिंग्स इंक्लूड लाइक सेविंग्स, योर फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट्स, योर आरडीज, कि जब भी कुछ खराब होता है यू कैन गेट दैट in your hand and you can restart everything. So if you are living with your family, I would suggest for every young man to at least have 6 months of backup in these safety net. And I focus whenever I've been in a phase where I've been broke and I've restarted, I make sure the safety net पहले हो. इसके ऊपर सबसे ज़्यादा फोकस होता है मेरा before I start going into more of the riskier investments जिसमें returns ज़्यादा आ सकते हैं. These might not give you more returns, but these are like, these will safeify you. These are like your cushioning before you fall. So 6 months of savings, FDs or RDs if you're living with the family, and if you're living by yourself, at least 1 year, right? जो आपका ऑफिस भी चला सके और आपका घर भी चला सके, इतना कम से कम I would strategize for myself कि इतना save होना चाहिए. Then I would say cash. Cash is something very immediate. For example, let's say
cash और savings को कैसे different?
So cash is something, for example,
cash is basically physical cash.
Cash is physical cash. You need some amount of cash कि कुछ भी गड़बड़ होता है कहीं पे एकदम से, you never know. Yes. This was something
emergency fund.
Emergency funds. These are emergency funds कि आपके पास 1 month का होना चाहिए अगर आप लिविंग विद द फैमिली, एंड 3 months का मिनिमम आपके पास कैश होना चाहिए इफ यू आर लिविंग बाय योरसेल्फ. जस्ट एन इमरजेंसी फंड, बिकॉज वी डोंट नो व्हाट काइंड ऑफ वर्ल्ड वी लिव इन, व्हाट ऑल चेंजेस कैन हैपन. लाइक आफ्टर दैट मोदी जीज इंसिडेंट दैट हैपन, ठीक है, वो ये बीप कर दीजिएगा. आफ्टर दैट इंसिडेंट दैट हैपन, वी ऑल नो दैट एनीथिंग कैन हैपन. एनीथिंग कैन हैपन in the world that we live in. We think everything is in our control, but it is not. Okay? So just for the safety side, ये आप एक थोड़ा सा कैश निकाल के रखिए. Then we talk about the low risk investments. अब मैंने एक बार सेफ्टी नेट बना लिया कि मैंने 2-3 महीने 4 महीने या 1 साल लग गया मुझे अपना सेफ्टी नेट बनाने में. Now I can start focusing more on the investments. I won't go directly into the mutual funds or in the stuff. So now comes the low risk investments, that is something my financial manager takes care of. These are the low risk investments like mutual funds. These are the SIPs. Then of course the assets like gold.
Yes.
These are something that जिनकी appreciation होती रहती है, धीरे होती है, but appreciation होती रहती है with time. And I would say if you are in your early 20s, 40% of whatever you are able to save, right? After your income and expenses, whatever is left, 40% of that should be in this low risk investment portfolio. And if you are in your late 20s or in your 30s, 60% of it goes in this particular pattern. Then we have the medium risk one. ये थोड़े mid cap funds हो जाते हैं. This is something that I do myself. Whatever education that I've had through my own investment strategies, you can ask your financial manager to take care of that. So उसके बाद जो भी आपके पास savings आपने investments के लिए निकाला हुआ उसका 30% आपका अगर आप early 20s में हो and 20% अगर आप late 20s या 30s में हो तो इसमें आप डाल सकते हो. And then comes in the end comes the higher risks, are crypto or just the equity, जो आप एक तरह से you're going on your own intuition और senses कि हाँ इसका एक particular amount of return आ जाएगा. So again अगर आप equity वगैरह में equity small cap funds और crypto में है तो 30% of whatever is left, मैथ्स इसमें सही कर दी मैंने, 30% अगर जिसका बचा है तो वो early 20s में, 20% अगर आप late 20s में हो या आप 30s में हो. But again why these investments are important after let's say दो safety net को बाहर निकाल देते हैं, because every year our inflation rate increases from about 7 to 8%, right? So just the FDs, or because a lot of people ask these questions and a lot of adults will give you this advice कि बेटा तू FD में डाल दे, RD में डाल दे. A lot of parents, they have not taken those amount of risks, or they have not educated themselves to take those kind of risks. The thing is that every year our inflation is increasing by the rate of 7 to 8%.
The value of your money.
The value of your money. I understand that we are in businesses where we can scale things very fast because we have resources for that. But a lot of people that are watching, they might not be able to do that. They might be doing some jobs where there's a fixed amount that is coming in. So you want something which, and savings और FDs का क्या होता है कि इसमें आपको savings में let's say 3% 4% मिलता है, FDs में आपको 5% मिलता है, but वही tax कट के 4% रह जाता है. So you're always running behind. So वही जो आज की जो भी मनी की वैल्यू होगी 5 साल बाद आपके डबल एक्सपेंसेस हो चुके होंगे तो आपके FDs वगैरह RDs वगैरह भी पीछे रह जाती हैं. So these mutual funds, they just, and if you have a good financial manager, as I said, they can help you to earn up to like 11-12%. This is a very conservative strategy that you can take about
bro,
money.
ये मेरे को इन चीज़ों पे इतनी नॉलेज नहीं है. 50% चीज़ें मेरे सर के ऊपर से भी गई है. तो ये जैसे होता है ये जो फाइनेंशियल मैनेजर वाला सीन है, इज इट 100% सेफ कि इसमें भी रिस्क होता है? जैसे कि मतलब कभी ऐसा हो सकता है कि यार पैसे जीरो हो गए.
देखो यार, इफ यू आर इन्वेस्टिंग इन समथिंग लाइक म्यूचुअल फंड्स, जीरो कभी नहीं होता है.
ठीक है.
देयर इज अ वेरी लाइक it needs to be a big blunder from your side or from whoever is managing your money. It can happen, but as I said, just the qualification or the certification is not enough. You also need to see the reputation of that person. Reputation comes from someone around you. Okay, जितने भी आपके आसपास लोग हैं, there must be someone who is managing the money in the right direction, right? There is someone who is making money, who is managing money well, who is living the lifestyle that you want to live.
And that person has been doing that since months and years, not just last 3 weeks or something.
So someone, as you have to reach out, you can't just start typing, I need a money manager, give me a money manager, ChatGPT. It does not happen like that.
लोग कर रहे हैं आजकल. मैंने आज सुबह एक्चुअली एक रील देखी है जिसमें people were like that ChatGPT is giving better advice.
Dude, sometimes I'm feeling कि कुछ लोगों के जो मुझे मैसेजेस रिप्लाईज आ रहे हैं ना मेरे मैसेजेस के, वो ChatGPT भेज रहा है मेरे को. एंड ये भी चीज़ें चल रही हैं कि इफ़ यू आर सेंडिंग समवन अ व्हाट्सएप मैसेज अबाउट ग्रैटिट्यूड और ग्रेटफुलनेस, वो ChatGPT भेज में टाइप कर देते हैं कि इसका रिप्लाई कर दो. सो दैट इज द टाइम्स दैट वी लिव इन. सो डोंट डू दैट. डू सम रिसर्च, एंड ऑफ कोर्स whomsoever you are hiring, they always have a history of the clients that they've had. You know, if that person is qualified, certified and has good reputation, so they will be having good names in your city, in your area, जिनके वो पैसे मैनेज कर रहे होंगे. So always ask them कि you know what is your history, so that I can have enough of trust in you. And if you are in hands of a person like this, there's a huge chance that कि आपका पैसा zero नहीं होगा. Of course, times change, share market changes, because all of this is just share market and you don't know companies का क्या हालत होता है. There are times when the share market goes down, तब आपका पैसा कम हो सकता है. There is a time when share market goes up, तब आपका पैसा ठीक हो सकता है. It happens according to the times that we are living in. But most of the times, if you have a very basic strategy of investing in these mutual funds, safer versions, you are pretty safe in most circumstances.
Makes sense. Pretty sorted. काफ़ी वैसे लास्ट की 30% चीज़ें मेरे सर के ऊपर से निकली. अदर 70% वॉज वेरी लॉजिकल एंड सिंपल. कोई आपने कोई हाइब्रिड कोई फॉर्मूला नहीं बनाया. दिस इज लाइक टोटली बेस्ड ऑफ लॉजिक. फर्स्ट टेक केयर ऑफ योर नीड्स. गाइस एक मैस्लो हायरार्की ऑफ नीड्स होता है. जस्ट फर्स्ट टेक केयर ऑफ योर नीड्स, then take care of your investments and savings, then take care of your wants. Right. And this is a very smart strategy and hope people get a lot of value out of this. Also guys, if you're just starting out, obviously you would not have office or team related expenses. आपने ये नहीं सोचना है कि यार अभिनव ये कर रहा है तो मैं टीम बिल्ड कर लूँ, इनकम है नहीं टीम बिल्ड कर लूँ. Don't do that because I'm pretty sure आपने टीम बिल्डिंग स्टार्टिंग एकदम बिगिनिंग में नहीं करी होगी स्टार्ट.
Also talking about the risk, see guys, you have to understand कि जितने आप यंग हो उतना ज़्यादा रिस्क टेकिंग एबिलिटी आपकी ज़्यादा होती है, बिकॉज यू हैव लेसर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ एंड एज यू ग्रो, एज यू रीच योर लेट 20s इन योर 30s यू रियलाइज कि योर रिस्क टेकिंग कैपेसिटी बिकम्स लेस. सो जो भी ये इन्वेस्टमेंट्स हैं, जितनी भी आप रिस्की जो भी पंगे लेना चाहते हो, मेक श्योर कि आप अगर यंग हो ठीक है कोई बात नहीं हो, बट जैसे जैसे आप बढ़ते जाओगे, जैसे आपकी एज बढ़ती जाएगी, आपकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ बढ़ती जाती है, राइट. एंड जस्ट ट्राई टू वो मिनिमाइज योर रिस्क एज मच एज पॉसिबल. लाइक दैट विल जस्ट कम एज अ कॉमन सेंस एज यू कीप ग्रोइंग.
यस, बिकॉज अगेन मोर द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेसर द रिस्क. ये ना हो कि पूरी फैमिली है, बच्चे हैं और आप सारे पैसे क्रिप्टो में डाल रहे हो. अब अगेन गाइस, वी डोंट वांट टू ऑफेंड एनी क्रिप्टो गाय. इफ यू स्टिल बिलीव इन इट, गुड लक.
No,
yes. And if crypto goes up, let me know because I still have money in the wallet. In my wallet, crypto in my wallet actually. Okay, so next is expenditure management on luxuries. Abhinav, do we have any rule? और यही है कि यार जो एंड में बचेगा बस उसको मैं यूज़ करूँगा.
Yeah, as I said, your investments, I would say, just need to be automated. A lot of guys, they make the mistakes कि एक्सपेंसेस जो नीड्स एंड डिज़ायर्स उनको काटने के बाद जो बचेगा उसको इन्वेस्टमेंट में कर दूंगा. बट होता क्या है, इवेंचुअली इफ यू आर नॉट मेकिंग एन ऑटोमेशन अबाउट योर इन्वेस्टमेंट्स, you overspend in your desires or luxuries. Your mind is, your brain is not that well in recognizing.
इसके लिए कोई ऐप वगैरह यूज़ करते हो कुछ?
नहीं, nothing, no app, no. It's an automation process. Automation. For example, अगर मेरे पास 100 रुपये आते हैं and I know कि मेरा 50 जो है, ये मेरे needs और मेरा जो expenses है उसमें जाना ही जाना है. सो आई वुड से कि ओके ठीक है, मैं इसमें से 50 जो मेरे पास बचा है उसमें से 30 मैं इन्वेस्ट करना चाहता हूँ. सो पहले 10 दिन के अंदर मेरे ऑटोमेटेड वो ऑटो डेबिट हो जाता है बैंक से या वट एवर म्यूचुअल फंड्स दैट हैव टू इन्वेस्ट या कोई भी फंड्स हैं, फाइनेंशियल मैनेजर है, कि वो 30 चला जाएगा तो मेरे पास 20 ही बचा है अपने डिज़ायर्स और अपने लग्जरीज पे करने के लिए. अब वो मेरी मर्जी है, मैं जितना मर्जी उसमें से खर्च करूँ और जितना मेरा सेव हो गया वो मेरा अगले महीने के लिए इकट्ठा होता रहेगा. सो दैट इज हाउ इट हैव एन ऑटोमेशन ऑफ द investments as soon as possible when your income comes in, so that you don't go overspending.
Makes a lot of sense. But again guys, this starts with tracking your numbers.
Yes.
Lot of times we don't track our numbers because पता नहीं हमें लगता है बहुत टाइम लगेगा. पहली बात टाइम नहीं लगता. And what gets tracked gets improved. वरना कभी आपको ये नहीं पता लगेगा how much money is coming in, how much you're spending, how much your needs, what your needs are, what your wants are, or in the end you'll just balance at zero or close to zero every month.
Yes, and another big trap is your credit cards. आज जिस जनरेशन में रहते हैं credit cards ऐसे मिलते हैं.
EMI is very easy. Whenever, even if you are ready to make the full payment, option आता है.
EMI
make it on a monthly. That's easier. But if you are not tracking your numbers, that's a big issue.
I have a very simple rule for this. If I'm buying anything for my personal use, for example, if I'm buying a phone for my personal use, I will make sure that I pay in full because it will be depreciating with time. Right? If I'm buying anything for the office, only then I will go for the EMIs so that it's more like work related. So वो जो चीज़ है, it allows me to get in more resources and I feel more comfortable with that. So if you're someone who is not sure how to use those credit cards or when to take EMIs, just make sure आप कोई भी चीज़ ले रहे हो, स्पेशली फिजिकली, चाहे वो फोन्स है, चाहे वो गाड़ी है, वो टीवी है, इट इज़ गोइंग टू बी डिप्रिशिएटिंग. एंड अगर आप पर्सनल यूज़ के लिए ले रहे हो, ट्राई टू पे इन फुल वो जो हमने बात की है कि इन्वेस्टमेंट्स के बाद जो भी आपकी डिज़ायर्स के लिए बच रहा है उसको सेव करके आप अपने लिए फुल में कर दो. बट इफ़ यू आर रनिंग एन ऑफिस, इट्स बेटर टू गो फॉर EMIs. इन दैट मैनर यू आर एबल टू गेट मोर रिसोर्सेज एंड यू कैन स्टार्ट योर बिजनेस अ बिट इन अ फास्टर मैनर through those EMIs and stuff.
This is a great pointer. And talking about expenditure management on luxuries at my end, मेरा सिनेरियो थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट है बिकॉज वांट्स नीड्स वाला आई डोंट हैव टू स्पेंड, आई लिव विद माय फैमिली, वो वाला सीन सॉर्टेड है. सो डैड ने एक सिंपल सा रूल बताया, ऑल्दो व्हेन आई फर्स्ट पोस्टेड अबाउट इट लॉट ऑफ पीपल मैसेज दिस इज नॉट अ गुड रूल, दैट यू नो डू नॉट बाय अ लायबिलिटी टिल द टाइम यू कैन बाय इट बैक अगेन विद इन द नेक्स्ट 90 days from your profits, obviously.
See, that is that I'm sure that works wonderfully for you and the way that you have lived your life. But a lot of people are not good in calculating those 90 days that are ahead of them.
Yes. Yeah. That's actually a good point.
That is the biggest issue. You are good with maths, right?
yeah, not really. Actually, you know, 90 days वाला rule इस हिसाब से कि, for example, if my income has reached that in the last quarter and it has been consistent, next 90 में भी assumption है कि भाई consistent है, इसके आसपास रहेगी.
Yes.
Or the averages would remain similar. Although ये random खुद हमने अपने केस के लिए बनाया, but doesn't mean that, you know, it applies to everybody.
Yes.
Again, like you mentioned कि, you know, people don't know about future, which is a great pointer.
Yes.
So that is what. Okay, so you got your first car. What stage of career was that? And I mean, plan कब से कर रहे थे? क्या आप उससे पहले ले सकते थे? आपने wait किया and stuff like that?
Yes, I did wait. वेट मैंने अपनी वजह से नहीं किया, वो बहुत सारे आसपास जो आपके एनर्जीज होती है जो आपको बोल रही होती है भाई ये ना ले, तू ये ले ले, ये ना ले, ये ले ले, उसकी वजह से वेट ज़्यादा हो गया मेरा. नहीं तो आई एम अ काइंड ऑफ पर्सन व्हेन आई सेट माय माइंड, इफ आई नो आई वांट टू मैनिफेस्ट इट इन दैट टाइम एंड इफ आई नो आई हैव द रिसोर्सेज टू गेट दिस, आई विल गेट दैट डन. सो ये कार का शुरू हुआ था बिकॉज आई हैड अ स्मॉलर कार विच आई गॉट इन 2014.
That was your first
14,
car?
Yeah, that was my first car. So I had decided that within like 1 year, I knew that I wanted a better and a bigger car for myself. It was just like a small hatchback. It was a Figo. So I knew that as I said, like as men, when we start earning money, we also want to upgrade our lifestyle. So I thought that I'll need an SUV which suits my personality a bit better. And that was when 2015 I decided, and that was when I started writing ki, you know, I'm going to buy this particular car with this model, with this particular engine and stuff. And by 2018, I was 2018 starting, I think I went for a test drive, and then I decided, okay, next year I'm going to buy this car. So by 2018 mid, I had enough of resources and I was right on point to getting that. But then again, वही जो आसपास के लोग होते हैं, then my biggest mistake was I started taking advices, mummy, mom, dad, साथ में जो आसपास दोस्त होते हैं, भाई ये लूँ. तो पेरेंट्स वर लाइक कि नहीं बेटा दूसरों की नज़रों में आ जाएगा. टिपिकल पेरेंट. आई एम लाइक ओके, दिस डज नॉट मेक सेंस. आई एम लाइक देखो मैं डिसीजन ले रहा हूँ, मेरे साथ दे दो, इतनी बड़ी मत ले, तू ये ले ले, छोटी ले ले. दिस फिर दोस्तों को, यार तू सेकंड हैंड ले लेना, तू सेकंड हैंड ये वाली गाड़ी ले ले, इतना पैसा बच जाएगा, इसको गोल्ड में इन्वेस्ट कर देंगे, तू सेकंड हैंड ऑडी ले ले, तू सेकंड हैंड. सो दैट टुक मी अ वाइल टू जस्ट प्रोसेस. एंड देन वन आई, बिकॉज वो जो एक डिसीजन मेरा जून में हो जाना चाहिए था 2018 में, वो एक्सटेंड हो गया दिसंबर तक, बिकॉज आई गॉट माई सेल्फ ट्रैप्ड इनटू ऑल दीज थॉट्स. And I was really stressed because as a man, when you decide you are going to get something and वो जब decision वो delay होता रहता है ना, you become like fuck, I have to get this out of my mind so that I can start focusing on what is ahead, so that I can have the next manifestation for myself. And then I was running on a treadmill one day and I was really pissed off कि I need to take decision. और run करते I was like fuck off. And that day I just went, I cut a check and I'm like, I'm getting this car. I didn't even tell anyone. I came back home. I'm like, I'm buying this car. Everyone is pissed off at me. They are like यार तेरे को मना किया था, हाँ हम ये नहीं करेंगे, वो नहीं. हम लाइक फ्रेंड्स को, यार ये क्या कर रही है तू, बहुत ही बेकार डिसीजन है. आई एम लाइक दिस इज नॉट फॉर यू, दिस इज फॉर मी, आई नो व्हाट इज गुड फॉर मी. सो दैट वाज हाउ दिस होल थिंग हैपेंड.
This is great, but still there was a 3 year. आपने 2015 में decide किया और 18 में ली है. So guys, understand that, you know, don't start, you know, spending all the money because you're looking at someone. It was his chapter 14, right? You don't need a car in chapter 1, right? So.
And yes, that you also got a new car, I think last year.
Yes, it was last year. I gifted it to my dad. It was 2020 or 21. It was 21.
Right.
And again, dad को देनी थी, तो I had to give him a car better than what he already had, because again वो था plan. मैंने काफ़ी मतलब 1-1.5 साल पहले I could have got it, but then I was like कि 90-day rule भी कर लेते हैं, थोड़ा हवा में वो नहीं करना है, because I actually wanted to gift him.
Right.
ये नहीं था कि उनके पैसे ही यूज़ करके वो कर लिया, वो फिर लॉजिक सा नहीं बनता. So after 2 years किया, 4-5 months की वेटिंग भी थी बीच में, एंड आई एक्चुअली वांटेड टू गिफ्ट हिम एंड सरप्राइज हिम. बात पहले हो रखी थी कि यार कार है ये वो, बट आई वांटेड टू सरप्राइज हिम, सो आई कॉल्ड द BMW guy एंड आई वाज इन सर्बिया. आई वाज हैविंग अ बैड फकिंग डे. मैंने कहा यार कुछ अच्छा करते हैं आज के दिन में. बहुत टाइम हो गया. दैट वाज जुलाई और अगस्त में कार आ गई थी. आई कॉल्ड द गाय, पूरी बात होगी. मैंने कहा भाई डोंट टेल डैड नो मैटर वॉट. एंड कर ली मैंने जो भी फॉर्मेलिटी वगैरह किया था. फर्स्ट उसका एक डिपॉजिट सा था, वो भी मैंने कहा डिटेल्स वगैरह भेज दे. 2 hours बाद डैड का फ़ोन आता है मेरे पास, कहते तेरी इतनी हिम्मत कैसे होगी. फिर मैंने समझाया, मैं कहा डैड सरप्राइज था आपके लिए ही है वो, एंड हो गया. बट चलो BMW guy dished on me, but it's totally fine. It was good. And yes, वो ये 3 month rule था तब भी. अब नेक्स्ट कार आ रही है तो उसके लिए भी 3 month rule है, उसके लिए वर्किंग हार्ड ऑन दैट.
Nice.
And
Best of luck.
thank you so much, and gotta hit it soon. And any sponsors listening to us,
Help us out.
Help us with the goals.
Please help Yash here.
Yes, help both of us. And yeah, that is what. So investment की अपने सारा we have already covered. Next is, for me, investment rule is simple. Either delegate it to someone who's smarter. That is my dad,
Yes.
who takes care of it. मैं मतलब SIP वगैरह मतलब it's like might sound dumb to you, but I don't have a lot of knowledge in relation to these things. And apart from that, but I invest a lot of money on myself, my businesses, my team. And इसमें से भी maximum 70% money is spent on mentorships to learn better stuff. Again, there have been bad decisions. If you are someone who has had a bad decision in their business, don't give up. Over time, you would regress to this 10:1 ratio, assuming that you did not fall for overnight schemes and all that stuff. Because whatever you learn stays with you forever. You have leveled up as a person also. कि हम बहुत बार ये सोचते हैं कि यार डायरेक्टली अभी के अभी बिजनेस में ट्रांसलेट हुआ कि नहीं हुआ, बट द स्किल्स यू हैव लर्नड देम फॉरएवर.
Right.
सो कीप दैट इन माइंड. इन्वेस्ट अ लॉट ऑफ मनी इन योरसेल्व्स, इन्वेस्ट अ लॉट ऑफ मनी इन योर बिजनेस. बहुत बार व्हाट आई हैव सीन इज लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स पीपल लुक एट ऑल इन्वेस्टमेंट्स इन देयर बिजनेस एज एन एक्सपेंडिचर. ये समझो कि यार आप अपने बिजनेस में या खुद पे एक भी पैसा लगा रहे हो फॉर इम्प्रूविंग अ स्किल, दैट्स एन इन्वेस्टमेंट, इट्स नॉट अ कॉस्ट. सो ये अंडरस्टैंड करो. बहुत बार लोग होता है यार वो इस मेंटरशिप में इतना पैसा जा रहा है ये वो, बट दैट्स एन इन्वेस्टमेंट बिकॉज दैट वुड गेट यू एन ROI, right? So understand that, and that is what. So Abhinav, let's sum this up. Let's get your top 5 money principles or money rules.
Chalo, ठीक है, done, started. My first will be again the same one. Have a fixed sum deducted automatically as your income comes in, like within the first 10 days.
Track your numbers.
Yes, within the first 10 days, a fixed sum should be out. Like let's say if your paycheck is coming on first, within 10 days after that, whatever you want to invest, it should be deducted automatically from your bank or from whatever the source your money is coming.
Okay, so first is security over everything. One thing which did not directly affect me, but if I look back in my career,
Right.
the most of the business decisions I was able to take, in my case I was lucky, was because I was like यार even if I lose it, for example अभी State 60 का example दिया,
Yes.
even if I lost that money, क्या था, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, business was already running. If not, starting में जो भी मैंने खुद पे investments करी, I used to be like क्या है, I will take it from that, right? I had that easy that way. But now I have a lot of team FB members who are like कि यार now I want to, fitness business मेरा चलने लग गया है, I want to leave my job. I tell them one very simple thing, which is 6 month rule, exactly same as yours.
Right.
6 month के सारे, just assume कि next 6 months you'll be making 0. Do you have expenditures for the next 6 months?
Right.
If the answer is yes, take the decision. If not, work on that, because otherwise अगर आपको यही डर लग रहा है, you'll be running out of fuel because you'll be running on scarcity.
Yes.
पूरे टाइम आप fear पे कर रहे हो. Abundance से आप अगर run करोगे, that's always better. So always have saving for next 6 months before you start spending on your luxuries and stuff like that. And that would change the game. Again, I'm speaking from experience in a very indirect manner, because I think taking those decisions of risky investments on myself was helped me a lot helped me the most. and that gave me a lot of leverage, although that was coming from my dad's money, I would say.
Right.
And I like being honest on that. But you know, that changed the game. But again, एक और भी चीज़ बताऊंगा, जो मैंने अपनी first certification भी करी थी, that was from my own money.
Right. Beautiful.
Again, backup always helped.
Yes.
मैं ये नहीं बोलूँगा, मेरे लिए security was, again, you can build that security even if you don't have that naturally.
Right.
By having those 6 months of saving, assume कि next 6 months zero होगा, so that for the at least next 4 months, you have zero stress. You are just able to focus on the process, not the result.
Right.
And that would change the game.
Right. Beautiful. Okay, so my next will be never to disclose your income or financial situation to anyone, like not even your parents. That is something I believe.
This is interesting.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a very commonsensical thing. As a man, when you're earning, you know what you're earning for. Like it's you have a lot of loved ones around you. Probably it's your family, it's your friends, relatives. You don't want any other ideologies or philosophies about money or how to spend that or how much to earn, how much to show, how much not to show in your mind. Because you trust them, you love them, and when you start sharing each and every detail of whatever is incoming, you are bound to get affected by that. Then you are not able to get your own experiences. And I'm someone who in life always believes that you must take your own experiences and your own exposure. Anything it is, your money, finances, relationships. So even if I'm taking a relationship, I will say the same one of these same points in that do not disclose all the details about your financial situation to anyone.
Right.
And apart from that, there's also a disadvantage that anyone can take advantage of you if you are too
Not in a good place.
Yeah, like you can be a very kind person, not even a good place. If you're earning good and if you're a kind person, you might come in a social circle. Yeah, you might come in a social circle who do not realize how hard you had to work for that amount or for that sum of money, and they might take you for granted. And you being the kind person you are, you might try to let it go as much as it's going, thinking that the other people do not have it, so let's give it to them. Isko kya farak padna hai? But eventually you will realize that that was not a good strategy, and it is not because you are a bad person, it is because you are just taking care of yourself and you are just looking after yourself. So whatever you are earning, just make sure keep it to yourself.
Right.
Don't
I like being in the gray areas, nitty gritty, किसी को नहीं बतानी फालतू में. So that, for example, if I'm stressed, I don't want my parents to be stressed, right? If I fix something, अगर कोई problem थी, after fixing it, I share it. A lot of times we share it on stuff like our podcast also. Yes. And great pointer. But again, income numbers, my family knows. Right. Team has to know, especially sales front. Right. And my girlfriend knows. But मैंने girlfriend के साथ भी बहुत late share करना start किया. Right. Not because I did not trust her. I used to think that, why put her under any stress or even on the other side.
Right.
Okay, so next is time is the most important asset. People don't understand that. I wasted a lot of time. Let me tell you how I learned it. Back in 2018 actually, I had a lot of international clients. एक international client के साथ क्या हुआ कि I set up a time, but somehow I got stuck somewhere. And it was our second call or something, but he got really offended. Right, I was late by like 10-15 minutes. He got really offended. He was like, yaar, I took out time at 4. You are coming at 4:15. Right, I had always heard कि यार time is the most important asset. But जब वो एक बार बंदा offend हुआ ना, and he got really offended that I don't want to work with you in future. I realized that it is important. Totally मुझे तब भी नहीं समझ आया, तो मैंने डैड के साथ शेयर किया जनरली वॉक करते हुए कि यार आज ये चीज़ हुई. So dad was like that, people who are in the US value their time a lot. समझ मेरे को तब भी नहीं आया. But now if I look back, that guy was right. And I messaged that guy after 2 years when I actually realized value of the time. I read this book called Almanac of Naval Ravikant. Great book. Usme I realized that, time is the most important asset, because Abhinav, if we look into New Year's of this year, right, so many months have passed.
Yes.
Feels like yesterday.
Yes.
Right? Today we were discussing our previous podcast episode. Yes. Literally, almost a month has passed.
Yes.
Recording time. Time flies, right?
Yes.
But time के साथ एक और चीज़ important है, energy. Energy is equally important. Do not spend time on things which drain your energy. For example, I meet someone random on the road और कोई rash चला रहा है. I wouldn't spend even 2 minutes fighting with that person, because my assumption is, okay, everyone on the road is an idiot. Because if I spend 2 minutes गालियाँ देना, a lot of people do that. Cars में एक दूसरे को गालियाँ दे रहे हैं. It's killing my energy, right? Now time चाहे 30 seconds लग रहे हैं मुझे गाली देने में, but it's putting me in that sympathetic nervous system mode. So save your time and energy, spend your time and energy in the things which help you grow and multiply. And again, keep in mind time flies, but ironically most of us spend a lot of time wasting it. So if you are wasting a lot of time, you'll see time flies. Mom always used to tell me that this is like a couple of years back, that you are 26 now, it still feels like yesterday. 26 years, I was like, what the hell, 26 साल हो गए भाई, ऐसा नहीं, मेरी तो पूरी लाइफ है. But now if I look back, I realize that how fast time flies.
Yes.
Right? So that is what. So me messaging you for the first time, it's been 2.5, 3 years.
Wow.
Right? So that is what. So don't waste time. Value your time with everything. Also preserve your energy. Don't waste it on petty stuff. कभी है कि आपको, if someone is killing your wife for maybe 1,000 rupees, don't waste your time. Don't indulge with that person ever again. But don't waste your time. Don't waste your energy on that.
Right.
Because time, if you have time, but if you don't have the energy, because you're feeling mentally fucked because you fought with someone, that won't help you.
Beautiful. Perfect. So the next one would be, okay. I think this was something that we missed out in the whole conversation, was always give a certain amount of profit in some kind of charity or daan. And
Great point.
This is not because of that quotation, तुम एक दोगे वो 10 लाख देगा, but because, and this was something my mother has put in my mind since my childhood, कि हमारे पास जो भी आता है, right, और अगर ज़्यादा आता है तो कई बार वो हमारे लिए नहीं, किसी दूसरे के लिए भी आता है. And I've always felt that having that philanthropic view has helped me to work harder towards my goals, because it might have started just from giving a needy person on a street some money or some biscuits or something to eat, and now I'm at a point where that philanthropic view has grown into a point where I can think about taking things to the next level and trying to serve my country or this world in a way which can actually bring about a huge impact. And that is one of the biggest motivation for me to work harder. Like, it is not just the luxuries that I want, not just the lifestyle that I want, but actually bringing a huge impact. And it does not happen overnight. It starts from these small steps.
Yes.
It starts from actually when you see someone is in need. अब ये नहीं है कि जितने भी लोग दिख रहे हैं आप अपने out of the way जाके जा रहे हो. If you can, whatever profit you have, make sure that once a week you make that charity happen. Or if you see there's someone in need anywhere, because a lot of people confuse कि सड़क पे अगर हमसे कोई पैसे मांगता है या हमें बोलता है कुछ देने के लिए, तो क्या करना चाहिए, देना चाहिए नहीं. Like, it's all on you. आप देखो उसको क्या कितनी नीड हो सकती है उस चीज़ की. If you think that person is handicapped and it's if he cannot work for himself, go for it.
Yes.
Do it, right? But again, those small actions over a period of time, as you will grow as a person, as a man, as your income will also increase, you have to start increasing that particular amount towards that kind of a gesture, and that will give you more motivation. Of course, your luxuries, lifestyle, your family, the kind of people you want around yourself, that is a motivation. But this adds in a bigger motivation, because at the end of the day, we are here in this world to make an impact, right? Because Yash also always talks about that. I'm doing this podcast because I believe that we together can give a huge amount of value, right? And this is also kind of value that are bringing into the world. And all the top entrepreneurs of the world, like let's say Warren Buffett, Steve Jobs, anyone, they've been able to bring a huge amount of impact. Even Elon Musk, these EVs and stuff, because of that philanthropic view. So I think that having that philanthropic aspect to your earnings, to your income, to your financial education is also important for yourself, and that is something you realize by yourself.
Definitely. And apart from that, karma.
Yeah.
Apart from that, there are studies, there are certain, I think endorphins are released, or oxytocin. Either of these is released when you are doing philanthropic stuff.
Right.
So always keep that in mind. Okay, so my next pointer is, do not do anything of lesser value than your time. That means if you are already making money right now, write down how much money are you making, how much time do you give, how many hours do you give, and just divide, do some maths, and get to value of your hour. What is the time of value of your hour? So थोड़ी सी maths करनी पड़ेगी, थोड़ी सी maths करो, and find the value of your time. For example, you make 50,000 by working for 8 hours in a month.
Right.
Assumption. Divide करो, आपको पता लग जाएगा आपके per hour work की क्या value है.
Right.
And anything less than that, when it is related to your work, just delegate it.
Right.
That's something which I learned very late, but that changed the game. Again, एकदम beginning stages में you might not be able to do it, but अगर middle of the stages पे हो, so that you can spend more time on doing the right activities.
Right.
Right. Pareto's principle होता है which says that 20% of the activities may move 80% of the needle in your business.
True that.
Right. So that your focus is always on the right thing. So delegate कर सकते हो तो करो, maths करो, and you'll get an idea.
Perfect. All right. I think it's the 5th point now we are talking about.
Fourth
point. So the next one will be looking at money as a way of reciprocal altruism. So a lot of young guys, they get confused कि भैया पैसा बनाना है, पैसा कैसे बनाएगा? उनको हरा नोट दिखता रहा होता है. They are confused कि how to do it. They are mostly looking up to people, those who have all these luxuries, this kind of a lifestyle. I would just say कि reciprocal altruism just means what kind of value can you bring to this world for which people can actually pay you, working on your skills. So rather than firstly thinking as to मैं इतना पैसा बनाना चाहता हूँ, of course that is important. See what is the skill that you can develop in yourself, or what value can you give, so that the people are interested in giving you their hard-earned money. And you also can make money along with that. Like put yourself in their shoes. If you buy, let's say if I buy this pen, right, I specifically go and, of course, like now if you go and you just take a pen, that is a different thing. But if you are really specific about, you want this pen, okay, I go and buy this pen, I know that, okay, this is a black pen and this has particular this feature and this is the kind of value, it'll be very smooth for me to write, it makes my things faster. Same way, rather than getting confused and irritated and agitated as to how to start making money, how to start giving more value and how to start bringing in more skills towards yourself, that is the first thing that you need to start giving attention to before you even can talk about money. So think of it as जो आप दोगे उसके रिटर्न में आपको कुछ मिलेगा. तो आप क्या दे सकते हो इस दुनिया को जिससे ये दुनिया जो है आपको वो एक पैसे की फॉर्म में आपको वो चीज़ दे सके.
Give before you take. And just reverse engineer करो. Whosoever, for example, Elon Musk example देते, थोड़ा extreme हो गया. But why is he the wealthiest person on this planet? Because he has built something which everyone needs, right? You have to do that on your level, right? For example, simple example देता हूँ. Both of us are coaches, right? We are giving them our expertise and our time so that we can change their life.
Right.
That's something which we decided first. Second was people understanding that and people paying us, right? Always start with that. All businesses are about solving problems, and if you solve problems for a lot of people, and if you solve problems better than others, you'll change the game. It's very simple. Keep that in mind. Next for me is pay like you expect to be paid as a customer and as a leader. बहुत बार होता है we have these double standards. लोगों की हमने पेमेंट नहीं करनी टाइम पे, लोगों के साथ हर चीज़ में बार्गेन करना है, बट हमारे कोई क्लाइंट आके हमारे साथ बार्गेन करता है हमें अच्छा नहीं लगता, राइट? सो स्टार्ट विद द स्मॉलर लेवल. दिस इज समथिंग विच हिट मी हार्ड फ्यू ईयर्स बैक, दैट हम अच्छे बड़े रेस्टोरेंट पे जाते हैं या एलवी के शोरूम पे आप जा रहे हो, हम जाके कभी बार्गेन नहीं करते, बट व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग टू अ वेजिटेबल वेंडर, बार्गेनिंग, वी स्पेंड लाइक लॉट ऑफ टाइम बार्गेनिंग विद पीपल जिनके साथ नहीं करनी चाहिए. जाके एलपी पे करो, राइट? और मे बी रेस्टोरेंट पे करो. रेस्टोरेंट पे हम जाके टिप छोड़ के आते हैं, वी नेवर गिव एन एक्स्ट्रा सिंगल पेनी, राइट? That's something which I realized like 3 years back. मैंने कभी ऐसे bargaining करी नहीं as such, but that's when I realized, and that's when I was like कि जितनी मैं अगर for example restaurant पे जाके tip दे के आ रहा हूँ, I'll tip the normal ice cream person. Ice cream इसलिए दिमाग में because last night we had ice cream, me and my girlfriend, right? And do that with everybody, and tip your people, and not just to show it to others, show it to the world कि 5 star में जा रहे हो तो 500 rupees tip कर रहे हो, but यहाँ आप 5 रुपये बचाने के लिए issues create कर रहे हो. Keep that in mind, and again, if you are taking someone's services, make the payment on time, right? Be the change you want to see in the world.
Yes.
Right? Keep that in mind. Also understand money loves speed.
Right.
If you are taking someone's service and if you decide that, be fast on that.
Right.
Right? Be immediate on making payment so that your work starts immediately.
Right.
Because the way we are wired, हमें if we are spending money, हमारे दिल का टुकड़ा टूट के जा रहा होता है एक तरह से, right? Just move past that. A lot of times I've seen people that, you know, they're like, okay, I'll get this, but they get that thing after months and years.
Right.
उस चक्कर में उनकी months and years की growth रह जाती है. Also same goes for you as a leader. As a leader क्या होता है, once we start building a team, we start expecting our team to work a lot, and in our mind we are like, how do I pay this person minimum amount of money, because of which people don't stay. Right. So just ask yourself that, you know, at what proportion are they working, and at what proportion are they getting paid, while obviously making sure that your business is still in profits. Keep that in mind, and you know, as a leader, as a customer, pay like you expect to be paid.
Same.
Think of it as karma, and you'll change the game.
Right. Yeah. Be fair to everyone around you as you want others to be fair to you.
Yeah.
Right, beautiful. Okay, so I have at least two. I'll just finish it at one. Okay, which one to go for?
Second one.
Okay, the second one we go for. Okay, it's keep moving the money. Don't let it rot in one place, or don't get it stuck, because a lot of us look up to as our parents or people around in our family for investments and stuff. And a lot of us come from families who are very conservative when it comes to spending money, right? But just know that जैसे एक पानी होता है, अगर वो एक ही जगह पे खड़ा रहे तो वो खराब होने लग जाता है. And money is also kind of an energy. It is just an energy. That's why I just said in the previous point, it's a reciprocal altruism. It's an energy. The more it flows, the more you have the chance to make more of it, right? As you said, उसको एक जगह पड़े रह के उसको खुश ना होते रहो कि मेरे पास 1 लाख इकट्ठा हो गया, खुश हो रहा हूँ. उसका क्या करना है? Put in mentorships, right? वो एक
or maybe spend it on your luxuries also.
Yeah, right? Like you can do this, but don't let it rot at one place. खुश मत होते रहो. एक इकट्ठा कर दिया, चलो मैं फिर से एक इकट्ठा करता हूँ. क्या करके रहे हो उसका, right? लग्जरीज पे या लाइफस्टाइल अपना अपग्रेड करो, अपनी लुक्स पे स्पेंड करो, कपड़ों पे स्पेंड करो. स्टार्ट लुकिंग अ लिटिल बेटर, बिकॉज दैट इज ऑल्सो एन इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड दैट वी लिव इन. इन्वेस्ट, दैट इज समथिंग यू नीड टू स्टार्ट टेकिंग रिस्क. मेंटरशिप्स लेनी शुरू करो, बिकॉज mentorships are something that can, you know, of course investments can probably 20%, 30% increase your sum, but mentorships is something, it is completely onto you. Like you can 2x, 5x, 10x just like that if you take the right mentorship or you are with the right person. So don't just be happy or don't just keep smiling looking at the money that you've saved or earned for yourself. Make it move. Do something with it, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. This is just something that I'm including this. Never be afraid to make mistake. Even if you go broke, it's all right. There's another chance. You can do it. Have trust in yourself, have trust in your skills, and keep your focus on building skills over time, because आपसे आज की डेट में सारा पैसा, सारी दौलत, शोहरत जितनी भी आपने बनाई है वो सारे ले ले, लेकिन अगर आपके पास स्किल्स हैं, अगर आपने सही में अपने ऊपर काम किया है एंड यू रियली गॉन थ्रू द स्ट्रगल्स, you can make up for it easily. Like personally, I've been in life, I've personally I think 3 to 4 times I've gone broke, and every single time I've just used the skills that I've learned. No help, no loans, nothing, just the skills that I've learned and that have helped me to come back.
Yes. This is a great pointer, very similar to mine. तो मैंने change कर लिया actually. Okay. Next is enjoy the money but stay wealthy. Lot of times I've seen this happen with a lot of friends of mine also at my age. I'm 28 right now. That, you know, they are making good money, but they are always sacrificing their present for future. They are like, यार अब profits में आ गए हैं, big profits हैं, next factory बनानी है. उस चक्कर में क्या हो रहा है? I see a lot of them not living their life, right? आपके these are the prime years of your youth, right? So yes, earning money, saving, reinvesting, yes, but do not sacrifice your current time, because time is flying by, right? The kind of energy you have, yes, use it for work, but take your time off, enjoy, spend on stupid luxuries also if you want to, because it's like, when would you do that? Because the way we are wired is कि यार बाद में कर देंगे, बाद में you'll have a partner, बाद में you'll have children, बाद में, and health is so uncertain. COVID वाला time आया for example, health is so uncertain, right? So इतनी ज़्यादा uncertainty है, तो why shouldn't you start enjoying right now? But obviously be mindful of that and keep a budget even for your stupid luxuries, because this time would fly by, this age wouldn't come back, right? Long term, as we grow older, energy levels go down, and enjoy, but stay wealthy. What do I mean to say? Wealth is, for me, my definition. I think I learned it in the book called Psychology of Money. It's a great book. Wealth is just the difference between how much you spend and how much you save / reinvest. One simple way of being wealthy is spending less, or by spending more but earning more. The difference between what you earn and what you spend is your wealth. Right. So again, difference है दो तरीकों से हो सकता है, that you spend less. दूसरा तरीका very simple, spend more but earn lot more. So keep that in mind, and yeah.
Perfect. So I think this was, I think, the longest episode that we've had.
Quite long. I am zoned out right now.
Yeah, we've actually pushed ourselves to the limit. We were actually thinking of not going for these money tips, but then I thought this will create some more value. But we thank you for, if you have watched.
I have a pointer left, but
sure.
Okay.
It's okay. If you want, please go ahead.
After I'll sum it up with that.
Chalo, theek hai, done hai. So sum it up and then I'll do the outro.
Last but not the least, become the person who is making that amount of money. A lot of times we are like, okay, we live in a world where we act like others, right? We want to act rich. Ask yourself, what are these actually wealthy people doing? What are their habits? Act like who you want to be, right? So a lot of times whenever I set a money goal, business goal for myself, and I'm not able to reach that, I ask myself that what can I improve in myself? How can I become the person who's making that money, right? A lot of times where our brain goes is, how can I make that money? Ask yourself, how can I become the person who deserves that money? Right. You'll change everything. You'll change the game. So a lot of times you might be doing things right, but you're not becoming the person. So focus on that. Focus on your skills. Focus on how you are, your routines, where you spend your time and energy, and you'll change the game.
Beautiful. So let's do the outro finally. If you've reached this part of the podcast, let me tell you something. We love you. We appreciate you. And we are grateful that you've watched it till now, and I hope that you got some value. Please make sure that you give a nice subscribe to our channel, and that is something that I have to say, so that you do it. And please hit the bell icon so that you get the notification when next time we go live. And please drop down a comment to let us know how did you find the episode and what else would you like us to cover. And we are going to see you soon in the next video. Till next time, keep going, keep growing stronger.
Also, guys, join the Telegram group and see you again. Disclaimer, we are not experts. We are experts in our own lives, but not financial experts. If you want to invest in crypto, good luck. And see you next week. And again, focus on becoming the person.
Being man. Take care.
See you.